Ciao, dosto. Good evening. Welcome to the first live stream of 2026, जहाँ पे हम बात करने वाले हैं about a tournament that began in 2025, which is the AFCON 2025. And joining me for this fantastic stream on 2nd of January today are Param and, of course, our in-house South American football resident who will be talking about African football, Shivam. Ciao, dosto. क्या चल रहा है?
All good, yeah, all
I'm
good.
doing
I
good,
mean,
Ajay bhai, and
go ahead, Shivam, to take it over first. You go first since you have come on
yeah, I'm doing
after.
good, Ajay bhai, and that was a nice introduction because uh, generally South Americans have a very interesting history with Africans. So
Yeah, let's not go
it's
there. Yeah.
yeah. So what? Nahi, yeah, matlab, it has been a very good tournament and good to be back to preview for knockouts once again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. परम कैसा कैसा रहा न्यू ईयर्स एंड तेरे हिसाब से how has the AFCON been so far?
First of all, as always, good to join you guys, Ajay bhai, Shivam, especially. Always good to have a good conversation on football in general. And अगर आपने नोटिस किया अजय भाई के चैनल पे बहुत टाइम के बाद एक लाइव स्ट्रीम हो रहा है, मतलब महीनों के बाद हो रहा है. एंड द लास्ट लाइव स्ट्रीम वाज विद शिवम, सो गुड टू सी अजय भाई resumed live streams as well. But coming to the point, नहीं यार, मजा आ रहा है AFCON देख के. I have personally enjoyed it. Obviously, you can't always expect perfect quality, and AFCON has never been about the perfect quality of football. It has always been about the stories associated, and I feel in that sense AFCON has in a way delivered because बहुत हम बात करेंगे डेप्थ में. ऑब्वियसली मैं एकदम ब्रेक डाउन नहीं करूंगा राइट अवे, बट एक अलग तरीके का मजा आया. मतलब देयर इज ऑलवेज दिस चार्म विद AFCON. इट्स नॉट जस्ट द स्टार प्लेयर्स, इट्स द फैंस. I mean, ये cliche sound करेगा, but really the fans bring something else out. The coaches, the weird stories that we always see. कोचेस के साथ कुछ होता है, टीम्स के साथ कुछ होता है, हम थोड़ा बात करेंगे ऑब्वियसली. बट आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड टू जॉइन दिस स्ट्रीम बिकॉज नॉकआउट्स में हम डिस्कस करेंगे some juicy ties, not some, a lot of juicy ties awaiting us,
Yep.
and a lot of fascinating scenarios. And I'm glad to see so many people are in the comments, Ajay bhai, if you want to address that. A lot of people.
Absolutely, यार, absolutely. Lot of folks joining in. We have Mohammed Siam. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, walaikum assalam भाई. Phantom है, स्वयं प्रभाकर है, अभिजय है.
Oh,
Of
आ
course,
गया.
RS Rossoneri है.
सब आ गया.
A1Z Gamer बोल रहा है कि interesting comment from Shivam on Maresca. But we will start with Abhijay's ex captain, जो बोल सकते हो आर्सेनल के पियर एमरिक ओबामेयांग एंड गैबोन. अपन जस्ट डिस्कस कर रहे थे, तो क्या चल क्या रहा है भाई? मतलब व्हाट इज हैपनिंग विद गैबोन एंड इट्स नेशनल टीम?
एक चीज में बस बोलना चाहता, आपने एक्स बोला ना, तो मेरा और आपने मैंने एक मिनट के लिए कैप्टन शब्द ना ब्लर आउट कर दिया दिमाग से, और मेरे दिमाग में कोई दूसरा ही प्लेयर आ गया जिसके बारे में बात कभी कर नहीं, जिसके बारे में बात करनी भी नहीं चाहिए, जिसका कंट्री क्वालिफाई भी नहीं हुआ. एग्जैक्टली.
अच्छा, जिसका एक बैनर है, नो टॉटी नो व्हाटएवर. समझ गया.
एग्जैक्टली.
But it rhymes with Sharty.
Yeah, let's not go there. I think Shivam will also agree. Let's not go there. But Gabon, Ajay bhai, Shivam, before Shivam also takes over, it's insane because Gabon is a decent team. They ended up with 0 points, which should not be happening. मतलब अगर आप उनका ठीक है, I didn't expect them to win their first game, whatnot. If we I'll pull up the results as well side by side for people to see. But जिस तरीके से खेले अजय भाई, and I understand, look, some of these teams rely on very old defenders. अगर आप मैं example दे लूं, Gabon का कैप्टन अभी भी one of their captains is Bruno Ekwele Manga. He has been playing for Gabon since pre-2010s, okay, and he should have, frankly, he's a popular name. He's never obviously played in England and whatnot, but एक famous name है. Like आप सुनते हो तो आपको याद आता है, अरे हाँ, ये मैंने इसको शायद FIFA में यूज किया था, कहीं ना कहीं इसके बारे में सुना है. And honestly, that game, if I just quickly, if you allow me to pull their results, right? If I just quickly give an overview. Yeah, I don't think will I be able to pull this up on your channel though? Like,
of course. तो डाल, मैं शेयर करता हूँ.
हाँ, एक मिनट. हाँ, रुको. I think I can share this. हाँ,
तो कर ले.
हाँ, कर दिया. Done. Is it visible?
Loading in 3, 2, 1 हो जाएगा. Done.
Yeah. Okay, done. So अगर मैं गेम बाय गेम, जो ठीक है, चलो देखो, फनी चीज ये है ना अजय भाई कि इन्होंने कैमरून के अगेंस्ट एक टफ फाइट डाली, और आप जानते हो कैमरून का भी एक केओस था, राइट, कमिंग इनटू द स्टेट, इनटू द टूर्नामेंट. वो दो कोच का सीन, एटो प्लेइंग पॉलिटिक्स, द वीडियो ऑफ एटो एंड द कोच गोइंग हेड टू हेड, द कोच ही सैड गोइंग हेड टू हेड got leaked. obviously those squad announce karna. So Cameroon was not coming in the best of mindsets,
Yeah.
yet Gabon kind of failed to kind of capitalize, and this game was close. अगर मैं बात करूं इसकी solid defensive performances by Cameroon, and Eta Young should have actually won the man of the match, but obviously ये एक weird tendency होती है कि star players को ही मिलता है. Brian Mbeumo was not really the man of the match over here. But again, coming to Gabon here, like really bad, and लोग बोल रहे थे अरे Aubameyang start नहीं किया, and yes, they made 2 subs at the 33rd minute mark, which was like जैसे ही वो लोग struggle करना चालू किए वैसे ही 2 subs. तो एक air of confusion था कि how is Gabon suddenly so confused even if they're out of form. Like it was not just registering because they're a decent team, they're not as bad as they performed. And ये गेम तो छोड़ो भाई, मैं सेकंड गेम पे आता हूँ मोजाम्बिक के अगेंस्ट. हाउ डिड दे लूज टू मोजाम्बिक से 3-2 अजय भाई. एंड ये गेम भी वो लोग चांस पे चांस, एंड both were defending terribly. Both teams were terrible at the back. Like बहुत बकवास defending. And Aubameyang started this, but Ajay bhai, like every time Gabon missed a chance, the self belief in Mozambique increased. Like ये एक player है Jenny Katamo, very good performances he's been putting in, and you could see this guy was just absolutely owning Gabon's defense. And Mario Lamina, matlab, I saw him so confused in this game. He did not know what to do. They used to push high, they did not track back. Aubameyang looked defeated. He missed a sitter. He may have scored a goal, but he missed like 2 sitters in this game. And you could see कि वही सेल्फ बिलीफ जो मैं मोजाम्बिक के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ lacked in Gabon. Like there was no conviction कि हाँ we can actually go on and win this game. And I think their bottling was pretty much summed up when they played Ivory Coast. Because Ivory Coast, Shivam will agree, they're not known to concede many goals. But here you had Gabon in 21 minutes 2-1 up, and look at the comeback. Just look at the comeback. Crasso, Gesand and Toure. Like, and गया इसके बाद तो मतलब I have no words. Like I did not expect Gabon to be this poor. And अगर मुझे पूछोगे, definitely probably top 2 worst teams of the tournament along with Botswana. Like this has to be horrible. Like जो decent quality है तो उसको कुछ कर नहीं पाए. And Aubameyang funnily enough flew home for this game. So there is news that उसने बोला कि मुझे इंजरी हुई है, but reporters have said it's a fake injury and he flew back home so that he can obviously be ready for Marseille. So Shivam, you want to add anything obviously, because this has been this is very disappointing here what Gabon did.
I think overall, I think just the whole dynamics, right, Param? मतलब उसके बाद में you had politicians interfering in, you had Aubameyang being banned from the national team selection. Typically African football में ही होता है, you know. So Shivam is having some internet issues, so he will join us back. And यार Param, just this इसके बारे में तो बात करना ही है यार. My God, the statue guy, he's become a sensation.
So, but
there is a huge backstory to it, Param, which if you want you can share about it. So go ahead. Floor is yours.
RS में एक ही चीज बोलूंगा. देख, I know it's all just, I mean, maybe you're not aware and many people were not, because a lot of it's a shame that Ajay, a lot of these aggregator accounts do not do the proper story justice, because many aggregator accounts are sharing it as अरे वो बंदा खड़ा रह रहा है, you know, it's a good thing, passionate, but there's a deep reason behind it. यार RS तू Congo की history के बारे में जानता है, how Belgium and the US pretty much destroyed DR Congo, and that celebration done by that guy is a tribute to one of their great leaders, Patrice Lumumba, जो obviously उस iconic pose में खड़ा था, and he was the sole struggle fighter basically who fought against the entirety of Belgium, the entirety of USA, and मैं अभी इस screen पे बोलने
Allied forces basically.
Allied forces, and the way he was assassinated by, sorry, I shouldn't have used that word because of YouTube, but the way he was deleted by Belgium and US, if you read about it, it's terrible. So that guy, every match he pays a tribute to Congo's leader Patrice Lumumba, and he stands for 90 minutes. So that's the actual story, and that's very inspirational that he does it, because लोग भूल जाते हैं, अजय भाई, लोग भूल जाते हैं ये सब modern era में कि what exactly happened to the Democratic Republic of Congo. So very very iconic celebration. So but yeah, ये मैं sorry Gabon का आपको बात करना था, right? Let me just pull this up because I don't know, अजय भाई ये ban मैं wish करता हूँ चाहे ऐसा ban इतनी swiftly AIFF को मिलता. Like I know this is not a federation ban, but I hope this is visible.
एक सेकंड ये रहा.
Yeah, the Gabonese government has dissolved the technical staff of the Panthers and suspended the national football team until further notice. Obviously, poor performances as a result of that. Major shake-up for Gabonese football and Aubameyang और Bruno Ekwele Manga को बैन कर दिया गया है specifically Bruno को क्योंकि भी he was the captain along with Aubameyang and Aubameyang also has some attitude issues here and there so yeah, I mean, as a result of that, both of them have been banned. And Ajay bhai, matlab, I think it just sums it up, na. Like, क्या ही बोले, matlab, there is
वाह,
nothing.
तेरा तेरा चहीता मैनेजर का भी फोटो बीच में आके गया, रोबर्टो डी जर्बी.
I don't know exactly because yeah, obviously Desert भी आना ही था. वो भी 30 seconds latest post. सोचो यार, मतलब it's just terrible. But there are people who support Aubameyang in this. Look, these comments I don't agree with. I didn't know who Gabon was until he played for them. All this nonsense. But he's not a saint. एंड ऑब्वियसली बहुत चीजें गलत गई है इसमें ये ऑफिशियल स्टेटमेंट है गबॉन का फ्रेंच में ऑब्वियसली सो या bad scenes Ajay bhai, you want to say anything about
Bad
it just
scenes, no bad scenes. See, I actually like Aubameyang. I really feel that he will go down once he retires as one of the streets won't forget strikers in this era. um Obviously Serie A connection hai uske paas mein. He came from the Milan academy. Shame that he didn't play for the first team at Milan. And we as Serie A fans would have really wanted him. I think, Param, if I'm not mistaken, he could have also played for the Italian national team because he spent that
yeah
much of time in Italy. He's got
yeah
either he's got a passport or he is eligible for whatever reason.
yeah he is in some way he was at least eligible
Yeah,
but
yeah, but yeah, I mean, ये तो मतलब आपको जो मेस दिखता है गैबॉन के फेडरेशन में, AFCON में तो ऐसा, it's not a unique thing. You spoke about Cameroon, Ghana is under distress, and just wait for if Egypt and Nigeria, for example, if they have if they get knocked out soon, वहां पे भी इश्यूज शुरू हो जाएंगे. आई थिंक जितने इश्यूज अभी मैंने जस्ट देखा कि गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू, आई मीन जस्ट एक टैंजेंट में जा रहा हूँ. गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू ने भी एक वीडियो डाला इंस्टाग्राम पे. ही इज टैग्ड FIFPro, the players association, and he's like, this is the time where we're supposed to be playing and we're still sitting at home. So yeah, I mean, we know, man, I mean, क्या चलता है नेशनल फुटबॉल में, एक नेशनल लेवल में. हमारे घर घर पे ये सब घर पे आग लगी हुई है. It is like that meme, घर घर आग है, and the guys are like, this is fine. So yeah, I mean, we can move on to
Shivam is back with us, by the way. He cannot join through video because uske internet ka issue hai. So Shivam, I think, is here with us on audio at least.
Audio,
obviously,
yeah.
Very very cheeky username. Obviously, he switched and he came back. That's why his videos. But yeah, I think group wise जाना.
किसका वजह है शिवम के PFP में? I really can't make out.
I can't recognize like that. Childhood pictures is not my thing.
Firstly, I'm sorry for this glitch. Video, unfortunately, I can't switch on, so you won't be able to see my beautiful face. And secondly, this is Gabriel Martinelli in DP. So,
okay. Abhijay is a big hater of Martinelli, so definitely something for him. But Ajay, I think let's go group wise. Let's get
yeah. If you could just pull up the.
मैं pull up कर रहा हूँ. Group wise,
we can quickly wrap up the group stage results, and then we can move on to the knockout fixtures.
Yeah, done. I've pulled it up on FootMob. I hope this is visible. Shivam से start करते हैं. Shivam, obviously, as you can see. Sorry.
जस्ट मैं कंक्लूडिंग थॉट्स ऑन डेबॉन आप लोगों ने डिस्कस कर लिया था. आई थिंक मेरे को तो एक चीज समझ में नहीं आई कि व्हाई वाज लेमिना इवन प्लेइंग ए सेंटर बैक इन सेकंड गेम. मतलब वो इतना लॉस दिख रहा था. मतलब कटामो वाज कुकिंग हिम ऑल ओवर अराउंड. एंड द कैमरून गेम में ओके द स्टैट्स आर नॉट शोइंग कि वो गेम में लोग मतलब बहुत क्लोज था ऐसा था. बट कैमरून वर वेरी मच इन कंट्रोल ऑफ दैट गेम. we'll come to Cameroon, but जब बात करेंगे, but मेरे हिसाब से the biggest reason why Cameroon is doing well in this AFCON is midfield. We'll talk, मतलब detail में we'll talk about their midfield, but that it has been incredible. अगर मेरे को एक टीम का midfield चुनना हो जो इस AFCON में अच्छी थी, जो WCQ में नहीं था actually उनका केस, So that is Cameroon. So काफी pleasant surprise, sir. And yeah, now we can start group by group.
Fair. So that's a fair assessment.
Yeah,
पर जैसे तू बोला कैमरून के बारे में बात करें अजय भाई, let's start group wise.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Let's
Shivam,
go.
yeah, as expected, Shivam and Ajay, Morocco topped it. Obviously, एक stumbling block था बीच में with the draw, and but your take Shivam on Morocco, because even in the first game against Comoros, it was not really smooth sailing. मतलब issues थे tactically. Regragui had to bring in wingers, and then things changed. क्या बोलता है Morocco के बारे में?
अच्छा, बिफोर शिवम यू गो अहेड, चैट पे जो भी है, अगर आपको कोई भी
Yeah.
सवाल पूछना है, वील गो एज पर ग्रुप वाइज. सो इफ यू वांट
Sure,
टू
sure.
टॉक अबाउट ग्रुप ए, मोरक्को, माली, कोमोर, द
हाँ,
एंटायर ग्रुप, एनी क्वेश्चंस आप डाल दो, आई विल पुल अप द क्वेश्चंस. सो
done,
या,
done.
लेट्स गो.
Yeah, so
Shivam?
regarding Morocco, I think they are still not reached their full gear. मतलब they are
Hmm.
still taking it easily, and मतलब आप देख सकते हो कि that is a testament to their quality कि how good this Moroccan team are. I also think that Walid Regragui is also not that kind of manager who always go kamikaze football. मतलब if he gets a 1-0, मतलब if he gets a 2-0, then तो it's game done and dusted. बट 3-0 तो फिर मतलब आपका रेयरली होगा, अनलेस बहुत ही मतलब कोई आपका ऑपोजिशन आ जाए 3-0 टाइप 4-0 टाइप, मतलब दे नेवर थ्रैश, दे कैन थ्रैश. So he has this a bit of conservative, pragmatic approach when his team is in a very good position. So I still feel that Morocco can play much better than that. जो आपने फर्स्ट गेम का बोला अगेंस्ट कोमोरोस, आई थिंक दैट इज आल्सो ड्यू टू द फैक्ट कि they are hosting an AFCON at such a bigger stage, and the
Hmm.
pressure on Morocco, which many people are still not talking about, since they're host nation and they haven't won it for
Yeah,
almost 4 decades
yeah,
now. तो वो
yeah.
सारे फैक्टर में भी आई थिंक काफी ओवरवेलम हुए थे. सो मेरे लिए तो आई थिंक ओवरऑल 2-0 इज अ वेरी प्रोफेशनल विन, प्रोफेशनल परफॉर्मेंस. वी सॉ व्हाट दिस टीम इज एक्चुअली केपेबल ऑफ अगेंस्ट जाम्बिया व्हेन मतलब थोड़ा सा भी अगर कोई वीक अपोनेंट मिला, सो दे थ्रू देम आउट ऑफ द वाटर. Obviously El Kabi ka to it has matlab it's been brilliant AFCON. I think he is very good striker. So El Kabi, I remember he was the leading goal scorer in Conference League, then
Yeah,
next year in Europa League as well. So he is
yeah,
a very talented, he's a very good
yeah.
striker, and I think Brahim Diaz has had a very good AFCON. So shout out to the Real Madrid guy. I think he has been brilliant. So I think Morocco will be fine, and I don't see मतलब चलो round of 16 पे तो will come, but I don't see Tanzania beating them. They'll be fine. I think अच्छी performance.
Hmm. अजय भाई, आपके thoughts, because I think I
Yeah, I
agree with
think
Shivam. बोलो बोलो.
I think the way that even Brahim Diaz is kind of like taken up that very very mature role. Obviously, we saw him as a very young kid at Milan, youngish kid. वहाँ पे definitely he developed by the time he left Milan for back to Real. But now you can see that he's got a mature head on his shoulders. And obviously, मेरा थोड़ा bias है towards Neil Eli Noi. I think second game से he got a start, and of course even
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Salah did.
he played the first game, but I think first
Yeah,
game में issue क्या था, he was used out wide.
out
Uh,
wide on the left, I think. Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
then once he was put centrally in the second half, he started doing very well basically. So
Yeah, and I completely forgot about Salah as well, Roma player on loan.
अरे बस.
So काफी वो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है, बट या आई थिंक लाइक शिवम आल्सो सेड, जो मोरक्को के ऊपर जो प्रेशर है एज अ होस्ट नेशन, आई थिंक दैट गोज वे बियॉन्ड. दे प्लेड इन थर्ड फोर्थ गियर, आई वुड से, बट स्टिल मैनेज टू गेट द रिजल्ट्स, टॉप द ग्रुप. आई थिंक इट इज फॉर देम, they'd be looking now at one game at a time, and which will eventually their ambition would be to get to the final and lift the trophy. So let's see how it goes. And just a shout out for El Kabi as well. A lot of people are saying,
Bro,
why aren't European clubs interested in him? Oh, because he's 32. यार उसका story भी बहुत ही, it's a very
yeah,
rags to riches kind of a
Exactly.
story. I don't want to really
yeah.
really kind of get
Oh,
into that into detail, but I still feel that he's been there, like Shiva mentioned, top scorer of the Conference League a few seasons ago. It's not like he's been flying under the radar. It is just that कि थोड़ा आप बाहर के leagues देखो, competitions देखो, you'll know that he's been performing. So I'm very happy that he's got that spotlight at this point of time.
yeah, and just want to say that El Kabi will mostly score bangers. It's as simple as
Yeah,
that. This guy will never score normal goals. मतलब मारेगा तो either it's some fancy finish or either it's a overhead kick. Yeah, एंड ही वही था जब मैंने फर्स्ट गेम में इनकी स्टार्टिंग लाइनअप देखी आई वाज like Sufyan Rahimi he's a decent striker, like he's done great things for Ale and he's a decent striker, but I was shocked he started over El Kabi. Like that's the thing, जैसे शिवम ने बोला कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में उसका जो सीजन था and everything, I was really shocked he started there. And एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा as we close Morocco is that like the thing is group stages में ना even if you don't find your best it's all right, but I with the quality they have and with the kind of coach he is, Regragui, right? Walid Regragui. I expect him to find his or lock down his best 11 because problem kya hai, right now he's still in that dilemma. Should I play more players like Brahim Diaz, like like those 10 kind of players like Bilal El Khannous and all these kind of basically in behind the striker, or should I play out and out kind of players who can take their out like Ezal Zuli, all these guys. So he's still figuring that out because वो first game में वही issue था उसका. He saw that when he played a lot of those inside cutting players, it did not work, and Comoros was sitting deep. And when he made those changes, the game changed completely. So, and then you have to remember, Ajay, center back also is something they need to figure out. Romain Saiz injured ho gaya hai. Obviously, वो तो injured था first game में ही हुआ. But it is a bit of a leaky backline. Like transition में थोड़े moments ज़्यादा खा लेते हैं लोग मार. Like Jawad El Yamik is all right. He's not like the greatest defender they have. And even if you go into the 3-0 win, if I were to talk about that defense again, Adam Mazina, I think Shivam and like all of us know obviously Serie A connection, whatnot, but he's also okay. So like apart from Aged, there is that reference point missing in backline, and maybe if they don't fix this out by the time they face a top team again, that is something I'll be keeping an eye on. So एंड आई फुली अग्री विद बोथ ऑफ यू, होम टीम का प्रेशर है. अगर आप एफकॉन में देखो होम टीम इतना रेगुलरली जीतती नहीं है. आइवरी कोस्ट को हटाओ रिसेंट मेमोरी से, आई मीन साइड में रख के. आई थिंक द लास्ट टाइम इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग यू हैव टू गो ऑल द वे बैक टू इजिप्ट ओनली प्री 2010s, राइट? सो या, सो आई स्टिल थिंक दे आर वन ऑफ द फेवरेट्स, बट हां, बोल बोल.
Yeah, there are two things which I'd like to mention. First of all, about Unahi. I like this guy. Matlab, he
हां,
had
यू
an
लव.
incredible
या
2022 World Cup. He, if अगर Girona survive करेगी इस season, so it will be because of Unai as well. He is incredible player. मतलब I think he can surely play for a top club in Italy or Spain. So very strong shout out to Unai. And we का जैसे अभी हमारी बात हुई कि he had a very good tournament. The issue with backline is which I feel. I think this is where Regragi's test actually comes because he has made some very bold calls in this tournament. Case in point, two players which I like to mention. I Budlal obviously is very talented, so he wants him some experience of this tournament. कैसे होगा क्या होगा, so it's good. But he has not taken Abdul Kabir Abkar, who is doing well for Hetafe. And the biggest shot जो स्क्वाड का टाइम आया था, that was उमर अल हिलाली को जब ड्रॉप किया था. And Umar Al Hilali also said कि since my position is very stacked, we have Masraoui, we have Hakimi, so I can even play as right center back if my team wants. But उसके बाद भी ड्रॉप किया था. So Regragui had made some very bold calls, and if it goes in his favor, then obviously everyone will applaud. But अगर नहीं जाएगा, so आपको जो मीडिया प्रेशर भी है ना कि आपने क्यों इतने टैलेंटेड प्लेयर्स को ड्रॉप किया. तो ऑल इन ऑल मोरक्को वर इन अ वेरी मतलब काफी ज्यादा प्रेशर में. एंड मतलब दिस इज नॉट इवन द बेयर मिनिमम. मतलब ग्रुप स्टेज टॉप करना तो मतलब दैट वाज द प्रायोरिटी. मतलब दिस वाज एन ऑब्लिगेशन. तो लेट्स सी हाउ दे डू इन नॉकआउट स्टेजेस एंड हाउ विल दिस डिफेंस लाइन अप अगेंस्ट क्वालिटी ऑपोजिशन, जैसा आप लोगों ने बोला.
Yeah, and I was showing this to answer Abhijay's question because it's not Charlie Musonda, obviously Abhijay, but yeah, I think I agree with what Shivam has said here. Like there is a test or there is a level Morocco is yet to reach. Quickly, Ajay, anything else you want to add about this group? Obviously, एक चीज मैं आप दोनों पे आना चाहता हूँ कि इस ग्रुप पे अगर हम फिर से आए तो माली हैव क्वालिफाइड. We are back to that talking point where some countries have qualified without winning a match, which is just I love how many people get pissed off at that stat. मुझे तो मजा आता है, मतलब जब कोई बिना जीते क्वालिफाई हो जाता है. I love it. Like I don't know what it is. I just love that thing. But अगर पे क्विकली माली पे आऊँ अगेन मोरक्को. आई थिंक लाइक ऑब्वियसली मैं ये गेम में बहुत क्लोजली देखा था अजय भाई. इसमें ना Mali choked it. Like Mali had, I think Shivam was also watching this game with, I think we were discussing also Shivam simultaneously. Ajay bhai, the amount of defensive errors Zambia made and the amount of chances Mali had, and at times just too casual, just too cautious. And in the end, वो मार खा गए. Patson Daka, obviously Ajay bhai, he hit that moment, got infamous where he did the cartwheel celebration and he landed on his neck. This was the match. And yeah, Ajay, any thoughts on Mali? Shivam, any thoughts? Because I think the way they play, it summed up what they're in for. They play this 4-1 control game, but I think they should have at least won one match here. क्या बोलते हो?
Hmm. I
100%.
think
100%. With the quality of names, they should have won at least one game.
Yeah. क्या
I
शिवम, sorry,
think
you were saying?
yeah, I think this was मतलब a horrible game to watch even मतलब कोई मतलब they were very comfortable and eventually Dhaka obviously came off the bench, not off the bench मतलब he came and he scored. The
Hmm.
biggest positive which we have discussed in Ajay Bhai stream पहले भी मतलब in the video as well was Mamadou Sangare, incredible player. मतलब he's been
Yeah.
balling for RC Lons. He is doing
Yeah.
really well. He's a proper freak athlete, covers a lot of ground, box to box
Yeah.
profile है proper. And
He's he.
Mali,
Just before you continue, he's by the way he's Andy Duke's replacement at launch, जिसको हमने साइन किया है उसका रिप्लेसमेंट साइनिंग है बेसिकली. बढ़िया, go ahead, continue.
yeah, so he has been very good, and I think if Mali needs to progress further, I think इनको तो अपने top team रखना ही पड़ेगा because he is बिसुमा से कुछ नहीं आने वाला. मतलब he is busy in doing his nitrous oxide stuff, and I don't know what. मतलब his the fall off has been insane, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think one more guy, Sinayoko. Yeah, Sinayoko has been really well.
Oh, yeah.
He has performed really well. So Sinayoko and Mamadou Sangare are the two guys who need to step up along with Nene Dorjeles. I think Nene Dorjeles is a good guy. I think Doumbia has still not performed जो उनका initial level है.
Yeah.
So let's see how he performs. So they have a very exciting midfield and front line. So yeah.
या आई एग्री. एंड एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा क्विकली माली पे. अभिजय पूछ रहे व्हाई इज ईव्स बिसुमा नॉट देयर. सी ईव्स बिसुमा ना लॉस्ट हिज स्पॉट अ व्हाइल बैक. अभिजय जैसे शिवम ने आंसर किया, मामाडू संगारे देयर इज नो बेंचिंग द किड राइट नाउ. एंड इवन डियंग इज एक्चुअली अलियो डियंग इज प्लेइंग वेरी वेल फॉर अल अली. ऑनेस्टली वो एक पेयर बन चुका है माली के लिए. और माली कैसा खेलता है अभिजय, दे प्ले एज आई सेड दे प्ले 4-1-4-1 कॉम्पैक्ट. एंड इनका जो कोच है ना टॉम सेंटफेंट, ही इज वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट द पीसेस ही पिक्स in order to maintain their defensive shape. So there is no way Yves Bissouma was making it, and Lassana Koulibaly in the Serie A is playing much better. So honestly, there is no reason to, with all due respect, नाम होगा बड़ा Yves Bissouma का in that sense, but doesn't deserve a call up right now. You can argue bench पे हो सकता है, but yeah, otherwise he does not deserve to start. And also to Shivam's point, as I close this, just keep an eye on Nene Dorgeles as well. Very, very pretty solid player. So ऐसा नहीं है जैसे अजय भाई शिवम ने बोला, they have the quality but they don't tap into it. They're very cautious, very conservative. El Bilal Toure is still an all right player. It's not like he's complete crap
Yeah.
after his ACL
Abhijay, yes, he
injury.
is the Atlanta, ex-Atalanta
Yeah,
legend.
exactly. Now he's exactly very. He's in Turkey. Goyo Koulibaly, Serie A में खेले, he's a decent player.
Yeah,
So the point
अच्छा
is,
खेला.
look, exactly the quality is there to harm countries like Zambia, with all due respect. And जैसे शिवम और मैं बात कर रहे थे, when these games were going on, Zambia were very bad defensively. Some of the clearances they would make, they couldn't control the ball yet. एक चांस मिला वो लोग को एंड में, और पैटसन डाका ने डाल दिया लाइन पे सब कुछ, एंड यू विल सी वेयर माली आर विदाउट अ विन. सो very disappointing, but yeah, I think we can move on from Group A.
We can move on to Group B.
Yeah, Group B. We are not going to talk much about the knocked out teams, guys, because obviously बात कर सकते हैं, but हमारे पास time भी limited है, so I guess we'll talk mainly from an overall perspective and the teams that qualified. वैसा I think
Can
one.
start
Yeah,
with that robbery, Param, that robbery of a game between Egypt and South Africa.
भाई शिवम, I think अगर
अरे
अपन इस
भाई
गेम
मतलब मैं तो मतलब एक कुछ बोलूंगा तो फिर मतलब इजिप्शियन ही आके मुझे
कलेश
मार देंगे बट
विवाद हो जाएगा.
भाई मतलब मैं
क्या था
I'll try. Yeah, क्या था is the right word. I'll try to pull up an image because we can't show clips, right, Shivam? So, but एक तो
Yeah.
with all due respect, right? With all due respect, look, I know every player in the world dives. All of our clubs have that player that will dive. All of us have it, okay? But what the hell was that penalty call on Mohamed Salah's dive? मतलब वो एक्टिंग तो क्या एक्टिंग थी भाई. मतलब I have no words. Like, sorry Shivam, you want to take the floor because मैं भी थोड़ा कंट्रोल करना चाहता हूँ. मैं क्या बोलूँ उस टाइप के बारे में. I'll try to pull up a picture in the meantime. But क्या बोलता है शिवम?
अरे चलो ठीक है दे दी भाई वो साउथ अफ्रीका को पेनल्टी कैसे नहीं मिली यार मतलब भाई वर्ल्ड कप में होजे मारिया हिगनेस गिरा था ब्रूनो फर्नांडिस को सेम चीज की पेनल्टी मिली मतलब दैट इज अ पेनल्टी मैन मतलब वेयर इज ही सपोज्ड टू पुट हिज हैंड मतलब एवरीवन इज सेइंग बट भाई मिलती है पेनल्टीज वैसी एंड उसके अलावा भी कितने गलत डिसीजन दिए थे आई नो मतलब वी विल टॉक अबाउट आई थिंक रब्बी ने बहुत अच्छी डिफेंडिंग की, और वो फाती, या द सेकंड फाती, ए फाती, ही मतलब इन दोनों की बहुत अच्छी डिफेंडिंग थी. एंड आई एम एक्चुअली शॉक्ड टू सी हाउ द fuck is El Shanawi still playing? For some strange reason, whenever I tune into Egypt, I saw this El Shanawi guy and goalkeeper, and I don't know how he's still playing
He is like the
2026.
Ochoa of AFCON.
Ocha, but to be fair, the guy is still making saves.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and see, this is what we were talking about. अभी ये freeze frame में ना शिवम, obviously this looks bad. Like freeze frame में कोई भी चीज बुरी दिखती है, but अगर आप पूरा sequence देखो, जो मैं दिखा नहीं सकता इस पे अजय भाई, it's like it was a very fleeting contact. It was not like the hand actually stayed there. ये image में लगेगा कि हाथ उधर के उधर ही बैठा था, but एकदम ऐसा था. And the way, again, this image will not do it justice, but the way Salah reacted to it, the way he fell down after falling down, the way he rolled for 2 minutes, he was rolling on the ground. Again, he's not the only one who does it. I understand there are 10 other players that do it, 1,000 other players that do it. And South Africa got robbed. This was the first point of their robbery. Yeah. Then the second point, Shivam, I think you were saying the penalty for South Africa, right? Yeah. I mean, kya hi bole? Like Ajay bhai, I don't know if you saw it, but basically you had
अरे
that
द थिंग
Egyptian.
इज कि जब वो बंदा गिरा ना, जो उनका सेंटर बैक था, यू लुक एट हिज रिएक्शन, यू लुक एट हिज फेस, उसकी बॉडी, मतलब ही वाज डन, डिस्ट्रॉयड, मतलब वो खत्म हो गया. ही आल्सो न्यू कि दैट वाज अ पेनल्टी, बट वो दिया ही नहीं उन लोगों ने पेनल्टी. एंड इवन चलो,
sorry, did I
Shivam,
lose someone? I think
I think
Shivam got
Shivam.
lost. Yeah. So just to continue on the point until Shivam returns, यार ये मतलब again live action में still frame will not do it justice, but live action में अजय भाई, again this was inside the box.
Very disappointing.
Very
But,
disappointing.
this confirms परम कि इजिप्ट का है ना टूर्नामेंट है ना बहुत जल्द कट शॉर्ट होने वाला है, बिकॉज उनका मतलब they are relying on those individual moments of magic. I don't see them as a collective unit. I see Marmoush trying to do something. I see Salah obviously trying to make something out of nothing. But they like अगर ये first game नहीं होता ना, I feel that South Africa would have come back. Like you see South Africa, they've grown into the tournament. I feel if this was the last fixture, I think they would have overturned that 1 goal deficit and won 2-1 or 3-1 on the night.
Yeah, I agree. आगे शिवम आ गया, बोल ना शिवम.
हाँ, मेरे को तो एक चीज नहीं समझ में आ रही, व्हाई इज दैट गाय जो फैसल आया था, आई थिंक बेंच से, भाई ही वाज वेरी गुड.
या I think we lost him again.
Like Trezeguet को तो being and do.
I think there is. I think we lost Shivam, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just continue the discussion. Shivam, if you can hear us, एक बार fix करके I think rejoin कर ले. But sorry, just to before I come to the comments, एक बार I think अजय भाई एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूँगा इजिप्ट का कि what they're doing is they're playing an all-out attack-branded football. So when they started the match and everything was fine, they were dominating South Africa. I'll give them that. They were dominating South Africa. Chance after chance. And South Africa का थोड़ा defense और midfield थोड़ा shaky है. I think आप भी जानते हो कि South Africa के बारे में बहुत hype थी tournament में, rightly so because they've had a great World Cup qualifying campaign, whatnot. But they did look vulnerable and eventually in the wrong way basically they paid the price for it. अगर genuine तरीके से जीते होते अलग बात है, but Egypt mental hype पे थी and whatever it is they ended up topping the group. And yeah, Abhijay says no LNE no party. यार LNE का जमाना गया भाई, मतलब हो
गया.
Palash says Eritrea is known as the North Korea. Yes, it is. You can argue it's as bad as North Korea. I mean,
it is. And as someone who works in shipping in the day job, Eritrea is like a very very difficult country in the global.
मेरे लिए Eritrean football team का जर्सी लाओ यार, कहीं से आप शिपिंग में काम करते हो, कहीं से तो कॉन्टैक्ट्स बना के लाओ.
नॉर्थ कोरिया का लेके आता तेरे लिए.
भाई नॉर्थ कोरिया का तो मिलता भी है. That's crazy. You actually get it. But I guess Shivam, if you're back, एक बार कुछ बोलने का try कर, then we'll resume with your thoughts on Egypt.
Yeah, I'm so sorry कि इतने दिन बाद स्ट्रीम हो रही है, मेरा इंटरनेट इज मिसिंग.
No problem. You're talking about Egypt. तू बार-बार जितना यूजर नेम बदलेगा ना नेगेटिव इंटर के अगेंस्ट उतना तेरा क्रैश हो जाएगा.
हाँ मतलब आई वाज जस्ट सेइंग कि आई मतलब दैट फैसल गाय जो बेंच से आई थिंक उसको तो स्टार्ट करना चाहिए मतलब ही इज मतलब वो ड्रिबल करके डिफेंसेस को स्ट्रेच कर रहा था सो ही वाज वेरी गुड तो आई थिंक ही शुड स्टार्ट एंड ट्रेजेगर को भाई मत खिलाओ यार मतलब वो नहीं खेल पा रहा है मतलब हो गया उसका इजिप्ट का मतलब कब तक उसको खिलाओगे सो देयर आर सम थिंग्स व्हिच बट आई थिंक ऑन अ पॉजिटिव नोट आई थिंक ठीक है पेनल्टी को अगर हटा दे सो आई थिंक साला हैज स्टेप्ड अप सो फार फॉर इजिप्ट so credit where it's due he has done well and somehow El Shanawi is doing well
Yeah,
Rabbi मेरे को बहुत अच्छा उनका लग रहा है डिफेंस में that Rabbi Rabia guy he has
yeah,
performed very well so these are couple of players जिन पे आप नजर रख सकते हो for Egypt for knockout
yeah.
stages basically
Yeah, and just one more thing, Egypt ने अपने last game में against Angola rotated their team heavily because they had already qualified and still managed to get a nil-nil. Angola very disappointing. We'll come to them later. But yeah, Egypt ने बहुत rotate किया था. Mustafa Mohamed अब तक Salah didn't start at all. Defense पूरा अलग था. You can see, look at the difference. Like even obviously Shenawi not in goal. So basically अजय भाई जैसे वो लोग को manage करना था essentially Egypt को tournament in a way you can say they did it because even if dropping 2 points it doesn't mean much because the last game already it was dead rubber for them and yeah the bench players also got minutes and maybe things are looking decent at least for Egypt to kind of build on. Let's see where they go. We'll talk about the this thing but South Africa पे आते हैं अजय भाई क्या बोलते हो because obviously that game against Egypt we just talked about so let's not talk about it but it's been a bit rocky. मतलब I watched their games. I think Shivam will also give his 2 cents on this. But आपके क्या thoughts है? Because मेरे लिए the midfield and defense is a bit too slow. Like there are some very good players to look out for. Mbokazi, Mokoena, बहुत अच्छे players है. Lyle Foster Premier League में खेलता है. He was not having a good time with South Africa, but he's showed up this tournament. Kudos to him. But क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? Like थोड़ा if like they're not convincing me as favorites. जितना थोड़ा hype था वो थोड़ा now people
Yeah,
can
yeah.
say
I don't think so. They were favorites. I think they're more for dark horses, and I think वो trend end तक रहेगा. Let's see how they do well in the knockouts. But they've been growing. But I'm like, of course, like उनका अभी तक वो top full potential में नहीं खेल रहे. But मुझे लग रहा है कि this is a team that will grow a bit. Of course, I watched the South Africa Zimbabwe game because more than anything else, I was hyped to see a cricket fixture generally. South Africa Zimbabwe football में. But the Bafana, I just feel कि ये जो टीम है would be one of the surprise packages in the World Cup. I think do not underestimate them. ये जो टीम है, they will take this AFCON experience and grow. So I just feel कि अभी के जो knockouts में if they manage to go past, who are they playing in the round of 16?
They are playing this year. अपना ये क्या बोलते हैं रुको let me just will pull it up. It's a tough game. Cameroon ना Cameroon. It's tough.
कैमरून है,
Cameroon
हाँ, हाँ, कैमरून है, हाँ। तो मेरे को लग रहा है कि देख कैमरून को अगर इन लोग कुछ हराए तो इट विल बी अ बिग स्कैल्प फॉर देम। उसके बाद में आई थिंक जो डार्क हॉर्सेस का एक जो टैग उनको मिला था दे कैन जस्टिफाई दैट इफ दे कैन बीट कैमरून बट even that Cameroon South Africa Cameroon game is a very juicy fixture and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't
yeah.
and I won't be surprised for if the so called upset hota hai, I really won't be surprised.
Yeah, and also before I give it to Shivam, like आपने cricket perspective से बोला, Zimbabwe South Africa actually football में in general it's a rivalry, but
It's a
in the last few
rivalry.
games, yeah, in the last few games it had really heated up because in the World Cup qualifiers you had that moment where obviously Zimbabwe were not playing at home in their it was a home game for them, but they were playing their home match in South Africa, and obviously the stadium was packed with South Africans, but this is a home game for Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe won.
Hmm.
Zimbabwe won. They managed to they held South Africa to a draw. And insane like Zimbabwe में वो potential था always, but the thing is by the time the AFCON came along, they lost their steam. And look at them now. It's a good team. It's an exciting team with a great vibe. Hugo Bruce, उनका जो coach है, so he's a very kind of focused guy. जो if he wants to call something out, he will call it out. उसने उस दिन भी बोला था कि defense अच्छा नहीं था. He's very to the point. But I think Shivam will make his point. I kind of agree कि थोड़ा slow हो जाता है midfield और defense. Like they don't have the fastest kind of in transition defense, and that's where they kind of get hurt. क्या बोलता है शिवम?
Yeah, I think there are two, 3 points. मतलब I have been watching South Africa very closely this AFCON because from a World Cup perspective, मतलब मेरे को वो basically I because I know Mexico का level, I wanted to see कि how South Africa does क्योंकि उनके ग्रुप में obviously फिर से मेक्सिको है. There are
Yeah,
two, three things. First of all, matlab, this is just my opinion. I don't like Mokoena playing this deep. I think he
yeah,
is your best creator. He should be playing forward. Mbule has been done decent this AFCON, but I think अगर आपका team का जो best player है, he should be playing further up front. And मेरे हिसाब से this will be resolved when Themba Zwane comes back. Unfortunately, Themba Zwane got injured just before the AFCON. सो
yeah.
मतलब ही इज बेसिकली देयर मतलब लीडर लेजेंड एंड मतलब उनका ड्रेसिंग रूम में जो रहना है ना उनकी प्रेजेंस से ही बहुत सारा इफेक्ट पड़ता है सो आई थिंक थेम्बास वाने का एक जो साइकोलॉजिकल जो लॉस है ना टीम पे दैट लीडरशिप रोल वो भी दिखा है इस AFCON में आई एम नॉट हैप्पी विद दैट्स वेरी फनी नेम शिटहोल्स परफॉर्मेंस ही हैज एक्चुअली नॉट done well in this AFCON. So I
Hmm.
want him to step up. One player who has actually stepped up is Apolis. I think Apolis
Yeah,
has done really well in the local league as well. So he
yeah.
came in and he stepped up very well. Khalisu Mudau, I think right back. उनका जो इजिप्ट वाला गेम था आई थिंक फर्स्ट हाफ वाज नॉट गुड बट सेकंड हाफ में ही रियली स्टेप्ड ही इज अ वेरी गुड प्लेयर आई थिंक खलीसू मुडाव जो इनका राइट बैक है so I think Ajay perfectly described that they are still a growing team, but they really need to work upon that defense and midfield because अगर मेक्सिको जैसे मैं एक बहुत briefly वर्ल्ड कप का बोल दूं अगर मेक्सिको के अगेंस्ट आप ऐसा गेम खेलोगे ना so they love कि आप सिट बैक करो they'll get the ball and hit you on counters. Transitions पे मेरे को लग रहा है बहुत ज्यादा improve करने की नीड है साउथ अफ्रीकन टीम
Yeah,
को
yeah,
so yeah
yeah.
that's the thing.
Agree, definitely. And you have to give them credit थोड़ा कि goalkeeper जो उनका है Ronwen Williams, he's been at the with the team for a long time and he's been doing a great. He made a lot of key saves against Angola and the different other two teams as well. So they are solid, but again I agree with Shivam थोड़ा solidify करना बाकी है. अगर आप लोग comments लाते रहो guys,
Ron,
more about any
Ronwen
questions you
Williams
guys
is
have.
incredible keeper. बहुत अच्छा
Yeah, yeah.
कीपर है रॉनवेन विलियम्स.
I mean, it's crazy how many saves he makes. And yeah, अगर आपके और कोई comments लाते रहो, I think Ajay bhai, we can move on to the next group.
Yeah.
If
Let's move to the
it's
next
fine.
group C.
We have group C. I'm pulling that up. Nigeria, Tunisia, Tanzania, Uganda. ये order था final. And भाई मतलब drama. Tanzania qualifying was just like yeah, just if I'm pulling this up, Nigeria 9 points, Tunisia 4, Tanzania 2, and Uganda 1. And just I don't know if you know this, but again, like if I had to pick like a favorite team in Africa, I'm more of a Tunisia guy. Like I've always liked this
क्या
shithousery
बात
1-0
कर रहे हो?
wins. Yeah, I've always liked Tunisia, like 1-0 wins, playing dirty. That's always been my style. Unfortunately, I got saw them get thrashed by Nigeria. बट शिवम क्या बोलता है लाइक नाइजीरिया क्रूज कंट्रोल यार मतलब अजय भाई आपको भी पूछता हूँ पहले आप पे आता हूँ like Osimhen is looking like
Oh,
I've never seen him before for a Nigerian in a Nigerian shirt. Like he's finally putting his heart and soul. And but I have to give a shout out to Lukman because he finally scored in this
I was just going
AFCON.
to say that. I was
Yeah,
just going
because
to
he
say that.
finally
Yeah.
scored. Yeah, he finally scored after over a year. And look, they did not have the greatest of games against Tanzania. Tanzania, they put up a fight and uh, but यार look at this Nigeria team उनका जो कोच है एरिक शेल उसने look when you look at this midfield ना अजय भाई इसमें कोई नेचुरल प्लेमेकर है नहीं like they are using wingers as basically creators to kind of cope for that but what their coach has done is he's managing that attack very well the different patterns how they stretch oppositions क्या बोलते हो like at least decent performances in there
भाई Nah, yeah, I know Abhijay is talking about Iwobi, but I मेरा वही point. I think he's been a revelation this AFCON. I think जैसे तूने Osimhen बोला, I think a few Nigerian players have really pulled up their socks and they've been really putting in their performance. They look so motivated. Typically, Nigeria के साथ में नहीं होता है. When they come to a
yeah
international tournament, there is lafड़ा, there is mutiny. God knows, क्या क्या चलता है वो national team में. But इस बार अभी तक at least so far 3 games in they've looked very composed, very united, and very adaptable. So I think more so अभी अभी जो उनका path है final के लिए I really won't be surprised if they manage to play in the way that they've played in the group stages. They can really go the distance. But सच में परम यार, like very impressed with Lukman. I know उसका season का थोड़ा start में issues था with Atlanta and everything, but he's been coming back like slowly and steadily. Even for Atlanta, he's been scoring goals, and now he's translated that for the national team. Osimhen तो भाई उसपे सच में I think he is the leader. I think bona fide leader on that pitch, and now he is proving his mettle by scoring those clutch goals also. And shout out to Basi, जो Fulham के लिए खेलता है, if I'm not mistaken. He's I think Premier League में he'll be the next one of the big moves over the summer, like a 50 million plus bid. He might move within the Premier League only. I think Calvin Bassey है. I like the defender. I mean, है वो थोड़ा उसमें एक uncertain vibes है, कुछ भी कर सकता है. But I like these kind of defenders who
He
take
started out in
take the
midfield by like earlier, and
yeah yeah yeah
yeah,
yeah
and,
yeah.
and
I
if I
think
just quickly before, sorry, go
yeah
ahead, go ahead.
yeah. So just I think one last point. I think Nigeria, they have not yet done a Nigeria so far. Very very surprising for me.
Yeah, Shivam, क्या बोलता है? Because look, it's not the tactically, it's not like a team that is fitting, but somehow Eric Shell ने क्या किया है, उसके superstars के kind of powers को enhance करने का एक तरीका ढूंढा है. How long will this work? How many big teams will this work against is something we have to see. But क्या बोलता है शिवम तो इनके बारे में? How do you think they've clicked? Hmm. Shivam?
Shivam.
I think uh, I think we've lost Shivam again, so I'll just come to it. But yeah, I think Nigeria का एक है कि I agree with you. Like, look, Iwobi has actually kind of done well in that role. He's kind of taking over that creator mantle, and yeah, and they don't have a natural playmaker in this team. And against Tunisia, bhai, I was shocked. They were leading 3-0, and Tunisia is not even that bad. And I was shocked. Like, I think Tunisia let NDD score like his first goal ever for the national team, which is crazy. And अगर आप देखो, like, Akor Adams, Osimhen, just that attack is basically carrying the team mainly. And one unfortunate story, Stanley Nwabali, इनका जो goalkeeper है, he's basically out of form. But actually, unfortunate story, he gave his interview in training recently, and he said that 2 months ago, I think he lost his father, and unfortunately, yesterday or 2 days ago, he lost his mother. So, like, very very tough times for him as a player, and that's one thing Nigeria basically he's like, maybe they might want to consider benching him, because if a player needs kind of personal time and whatnot, they might have to consider that. So there is one fact over there. And against Uganda, यार मतलब वो लोग qualify हो गए थे अजय भाई. It was quite comfortable. It was not really much of a headache. They rotated a bit. Dele Bashiru got time. Onyedika bhi decent खेला. So bench minutes for bench players. Quickly wrapping up Tunisia, very, like, as someone who watches, like, has followed this national team, very disappointing, because थोड़े अच्छे players है, आप जानते हो, हनीबाल है उसमें, obviously he's actually playing well. And if you see the game against Uganda, it was proper domination. Elias Khiri, very popular name, very
Yeah.
hardworking fielder. Achuri भी अच्छा player है. Like, it's a decent team, but the problem is जो Tunisia के साथ आप एक solidity associate करते हो ना, जो over the years, every World Cup, every AFCON, that has kind of faded away. Like, they're not that solid team anymore. The center backs, like, they're not as solid as they look to be. They'll give you a perception कि हाँ हम solid है, defend कर सकते हैं. And वो Nigeria के against पूरा falter हो गया. Osimhen was winning aerial duels left, right, center. Montasser Talbi is a decent center back, but he's not physically imposing. And the striker issue is real. You know that Wabi Khazri obviously recently retired, and they never found a replacement for him. Like, they never ever replaced him. It, like, maybe आपको इंडिया से comparison करना है तो कर लो.
वही बोला, it sounds very similar to a story close to home.
Yeah, exactly. So that has been an issue. And against Tanzania, यार मतलब इतना गंदा performance. It took a penalty by Ismail Garbi, to kind of star talent again, very very highly rated talent, but it took a penalty from him to break the deadlock. And Tanzania were defensively fighting for their lives, and when they got that chance, they made it count. And Tunisia का वही है कि वो एक fake perception आ रहा है कि they are strong defensively, but they're not the Tunisia of old. And the problem is they also do not score many goals. So it's likely that they'll probably go out in the next round itself. So it's a big problem. Striker issues hai. You have some good players like Hannibal. Obviously, there are other players as well. Elias Khiri, Ali Abdi. These are decent players. But apart from that, the problem is they've lost their identity a bit. And वो थोड़ा टॉप टीम्स के एशेलॉन से वो लोग नीचे गिर रहे हैं. एंड ऑब्वियसली अजय भाई, जस्ट क्विकली रैपिंग अप दिस ग्रुप, टांजानिया क्वालिफाइड. insane story. Like, what do I even say without a win again? Like,
मतलब,
you
this
want
was yeah this was for me the most unexpected group. मतलब I never thought Nigeria would come out with such a good tactical plan. I think NDD has been very solid. हम लोग ने लुकमैन की बात की, ओस्मैन की बात की, but NDD and Iwobi both have been very good in this AFCON. So credits to them, they both have stepped up. Tunisia, I mean, I'm very confused about Tunisia. मतलब अभी ब्राजील के अगेंस्ट they did a very good performance, but इस AFCON में तो they have been exposed badly. मतलब कितने ज्यादा उनके flaws है डिफेंस में. फिजिकलिटी उनका जो एक सबसे बड़ा की कंपोनेंट होता था कि they physically used to out muscle काफी सारी ये सब जो अफ्रीकन टीम थी, वो मुझे बहुत मिसिंग दिखा. सो काफी कंसर्न्स हैं ट्यूनेशिया के. टैक्टिकली भी कुछ मतलब बहुत स्ट्रांग नहीं दिखा. एंड तंजानिया आउट ऑफ ऑल टीम्स मतलब हैव क्वालिफाइड. मतलब मैं क्या बोलूं, आजम एफसी और मतलब व्हाट डू आई इवन से. मतलब मैं जानता भी नहीं मतलब who the players are in Tanzania except one or two. I think Faisal is there. That is one guy, but I mean that's itself an incredible. So this has been a successful AFCON for Tanzania. But
Yeah.
even at this point, if they get out, na, matlab it's a very successful AFCON for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll
Absolutely. And
just be
before
back,
you
Ajay, if
go
you
ahead,
can just take, yeah, if you can just
before you
take over
go
this
ahead,
thing.
Param,
Yeah,
क्रिश
I'll just be
क्रिश का
back.
कमेंट है, आप एफकॉन भी देखते हो तो रिस्पेक्ट. मैं सिर्फ
Thanks,
यही
thanks.
कहना चाहता हूँ इस पे. परम एंड शिवम दोनों ऐसे बंदे हैं हु वॉच अ लॉट ऑफ फुटबॉल एंड दे फॉलो लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट लीग्स अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. एशिया में मिडिल ईस्ट बोलो, फार ईस्ट बोलो, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया बोलो, चाइनीज बोलो, दे वॉच अ लॉट ऑफ लीग्स. शिवम तो साउथ अमेरिका के बारे में काफी इन डेप्थ फॉलो करते हैं, जितने भी लीग्स हैं अक्रॉस. एंड ऑफ कोर्स टॉप लीग्स इंडियन फुटबॉल तो सब फॉलो ही करते हैं. तो shout out to both Param and Shivam. Please go and follow them on Twitter. And honestly, my closing thought is that ki both of them actually can be hired by football clubs. You know, it has happened last year with Como hiring someone from Twitter. You never know. 2026 would be the year of either Param or Shivam when they get hired by a football club, because they have a
Too kind.
vast knowledge, in terms of scouting. So yeah.
Too kind, too kind. I'll just be back, Ajay, if you guys can just continue the discussion for the rest of the
Yeah.
groups. I'll just be back.
If you can just share group C and we will take it there. वो
हाँ, एक
share
मिनट.
screen कर सकते हैं group C का.
Share screen. I can share screen. I'll just have to take a call and be back. So I'll just go
No
on the.
worries, no worries.
Just go one sec. Just let me go off screen and mute.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
hired by Odisha FC.
Od-
So if
Odisha FC.
if you know, if you know.
ओडिशा
Yeah,
एफसी तो बंद होने वाले हैं मेरे भाई. बट या
exactly.
आई थिंक
Really.
ग्रुप सी तो हो गया. वी वांटेड टू टॉक अबाउट ग्रुप डी एंड
Hmm.
परम is परम can't hear us. But yeah, Senegal, DR को, हाँ, yes, he can hear us. Senegal, DR Congo, Benin, Botswana. Shivam, uh, the floor is yours. Senegal definitely favorites to top the group. उन्होंने तो अपना काम किया. बाकी कैसा लगा परफॉर्मेंसेस आपको सेनेगल का एंड द अदर टीम्स?
Yeah, I think अजय भाई, Senegal has obviously मतलब जो हम लोग ने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि they will be impressing in this AFCON and they impress. I think Mane has been doing well. Jackson का परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा था स्टार्टिंग गेम में. So they have they मतलब प्रॉपर केक वॉक नहीं किया because they didn't got all the points जो expected थे. But this was actually the easiest group in AFCON अगर हम बात करें. मतलब बोट्सवाना मतलब they were literally no expectation. They were just happy to be there. इन आपको मतलब वो केप वर्डे के ऊपर क्वालिफाई करके आ गए. दैट वाज देयर मतलब ओनली थिंग. सो इट वाज एन इजी ग्रुप. सेनेगल ने एज एक्सपेक्टेड ग्रुप टॉप किया. डीआर कॉन्गो एक्चुअली प्लेड वेल. Masuaku got injured, so Kayembe played as the left back. Their defense was very solid. I think Chancel Mbemba, matlab, I have always said this, but he is amongst the top 5, top 6 center backs in Africa. Very good player. Van Bissaka का performances काफी अच्छा था. So they have a good backline. To Anzebe obviously is there. Their midfield is very solid, very compact. Obviously Visa nahi hai, so they have still some problem. They are still not their best team. मतलब properly उनका जो best team है, जो हम लोग best from DR Congo से expect करेंगे, वो तभी करेंगे जब Visa आएंगे. And I think Visa preserve भी किए जा रहे हैं because उनका इससे बड़ा मैच है, WCQ है अभी आगे
Yeah.
आने वाले टाइम में. So I think both teams were expected to do well, and I think they both did well. DR Congo and Senegal was a very exciting game, very spicy game. I think it
Very
ended
spicy.
in a 1-1 draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very competitive fixture, and I think recent past में भी इनके काफी सारे draws हुए हैं. So it was a fair game. Both teams cancelled out against each other. Botswana को both of them thrashed, and yeah, I think it's a very मतलब it was expected from this group.
Fair enough. क्या लगता है शिवम तेरे को? Do you think that Senegal can go all the way?
I think yes, Ajay bhai. मतलब it's I will still say Morocco, even though Morocco में थोड़े से concerns हैं, बट आई थिंक सेनेगल का कूलीबाली का ना होना ना, ऑल्दो कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं होगी बिकॉज दे आर मतलब नॉट फेसिंग लाइक द बिगेस्ट ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन, बट कूलीबाली का एज अ लीडरशिप रोल, द वे ही मार्शल्स दैट बैकलाइन, इट इटसेल्फ
या
मतलब एक बहुत बड़ा वो डिफरेंस बना देता है. सो लेट्स
या
सी कूलीबाली के बिना ये टीम कैसे करते हैं, क्रम्बल कहीं ना कर जाए, मेरे को एक यही प्रॉब्लम है बिकॉज रैंडमली कभी कभार जो बहुत बड़ी टीम्स होती है ना वो एक्सपेक्टेशंस के बोझ के नीचे क्रम्बल कर जाती है.
ऑफ
बट आई डोंट
कोर्स.
थिंक सो कि सेनेगल के साथ ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए बिकॉज दे ऑब्वियसली अब सादियो माने, लमीन कमारा इज ऑब्वियसली देयर, कई सारे अच्छे प्लेयर, एलिमान इंडिया का बहुत अच्छा ही है, AFCON उतना अच्छा नहीं किया जितना हमने एक्सपेक्ट किया था. सो दे हैव गुड प्लेयर्स एंड आई थिंक दे कैन रीच टिल, आई थिंक मतलब सेमीफाइनल तक तो आराम से जा सकते हैं, देन ऑब्वियसली सेमीफाइनल्स वर इन एनीवन्स गेम.
Hi, and I've been very impressed with Amad Diallo. I really feel that, I know he plays in a far more defensive structure under Amorim. He plays as he has defensive duties also, जो being back
ही इज
position.
डिफरेंट डियालो अजय भाई. अजय भाई,
Sorry.
अमाड डियालो इज आइवरी कोस्ट, ही इज अ डिफरेंट डियालो.
हाँ, सॉरी, ये तो डिफरेंट डियालो. सॉरी, मैं तो आइवरी को थोड़ा डियालो पे डियालो दिखा तो. बट एनीवेज, बट वील टॉक अबाउट हमाद व्हेन वी रीच दैट. बट जनरली या आई
या
थिंक एनजाए का भी आई फील दैट ही विल कम इनटू फॉर्म बिकॉज़ वेरी वेरी यू नो हाईली, क्या बोलते हैं, स्किलफुल प्लेयर, अच्छा क्वालिटी है उसमें. मेरे को लगता है कि maybe I just feel that they are slight favorites, even if I mean they're playing Sudan next. Ideally on paper they should win. उनके पास में वो
या
प्रेशर भी नहीं है ऑफ द होम टूर्नामेंट. थोड़ा प्रेशर फ्री है ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है. I just feel that
हाँ.
with the games, and I feel that even Mane as well, very relaxed. He has reached that point of his career where I think winning an AFCON would really really top it. तो मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा आई फील दैट अगर आप देखोगे, इफ द फिक्चर्स आर काइंड इनफ फॉर देम गोइंग अहेड इन द नॉकआउट स्टेज, they could like go on and lift the trophy as well at this point of time, I feel.
या अजय भाई, वेरी वेल समड अप. जस्ट मेरे को एक चीज था कि आई होप दे डोंट.
I think we lost Shivam again.
तू आया और हो गया.
ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? But नहीं,
हाँ, yeah,
I
he's
think
back, he's back.
he's there. Shivam, can you
या एम
बोल?
आई ऑडिबल नाउ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
या मतलब जस्ट वही लास्ट पॉइंट था कि आई होप दे
I think शिवम एक बार मे बी फिक्स करके आ जाओ वापस, देख लेते. बट आई
डोंट
थिंक
द टूर्नामेंट को लेके बहुत कंफर्टेबल हो जाते हैं.
शिवम तेरा पूरा कट गया एक बार है ना. आई थिंक रीजॉइन कर ले, फिर ट्राई कर, बिकॉज तेरा तू जो भी बोला ना ये हो गया पूरा, गॉट लॉस्ट कंप्लीटली. सो एक बार देख ले. या सो आई थिंक सेनेगल अपने बात बराबर की. लाइक दे आर, I mean, they look very strong, Ajay bhai, but there are a few things like abhi Koulibaly ko us din red card mila, so he's going to miss the round of 16 game.
But
There's
it's
a very
Sudan,
strange...
they face Sudan, so I
Yeah,
think.
I know. I'm not saying the, like they have great moments. They have the most probably complete team. I have them as one of the favorites. I think they can, if anyone, beat Morocco as well, if the time comes. Uh, एक दो इश्यूज है जहाँ अटैक पे कभी कभी बीच में रैंडमली फ्लैट हो जाते हैं, लाइक सो दैट्स वेयर दे कैन प्रोबेबली improve a bit, but really they are the most complete per se if you look at the squad and everything. And ग्रुप की बात करूं फटाफट से, ऑब्वियसली वो लोग टॉप किए हैं एंड दे प्लेड कॉन्गो, एंड कॉन्गो के साथ ड्रॉ हुआ, एंड इन दैट गेम आल्सो they struggled a lot. Like Congo, again, when they went up against a good team, they struggled. And आप जानते हो सेनेगल कॉन्गो बीच में rivalry हो गई है because वो लोग वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफाई, Congo missed out at the hands of Senegal. So it's a rivalry there, and they played Benin, and Benin के against, while being down to 10 men they scored. So it's a, they are at a very high level, but एक दो चीजें missing है मेरे लिए. But apart from that, really nothing to worry about, I feel, for Senegal. And DR Congo, यार, you have to give these guys their utmost respect. Like
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, like these guys are fan. Like अभी I think अभिजय पूछ रहा है why is Yuan Visa not there? देख, Yuan Visa उस टाइम पे इंजर्ड था अभिजय, एंड उस टाइम पे उसका फॉर्म भी गया था, तो दे डिड नॉट कॉल हिम अप, राइटली सो. आई वुड से यू कैन से कॉल अप करके बेंच पे बैठा सकते हो, बट यू नेवर नो, राइट, इंजरी के बाद प्लेयर कैसा हो. सो बट इवन डीआर कोंगो, आई क्विकली से आ जाए कि एक्चुअली थोड़ा फ्लैट पड़ गई है. मतलब अगेन it's not, they also do kind of miss a lot of chances. But if I have to quickly highlight concept players to keep an eye on, like you can just, I'll just quickly pull up. या यू कैन जस्ट क्विकली लुक सी अगेन सेड्रिक बकाम्बू थोड़ा एक्चुअली अच्छा खेल रहा है ये मैंने सिर्फ एक गेम रेफरेंस के लिए पुल अप किया बेनिन वाला बट यू आल्सो हैव द बैकलाइन काइंड ऑफ प्लेइंग वेल लाइक एटलीस्ट गोइंग फॉरवर्ड लाइक Joan sorry Joan Van Bissaka Masuaku they're doing a decent job but Theo Bongonda keep an eye
By
he's a
the way,
very decent
by the way, I read about this Muthu Swami. He
हाँ
his father has got but he's from the Caribbean, and his father has got roots from South India, obviously. So
of course
so that's why
या या
he
या इंटरेस्टिंग कनेक्शन एक ऐसा है कि उनके इतने मोमेंट्स होते हैं ना वेयर दे काइंड ऑफ दे हैव दैट वियर्ड वन मोमेंट इन देम कि वो लोग ना रैंडमली कंसंट्रेशन they lose it and that is my main thing with them against Botswana they got that much needed confidence building in because Botswana is the probably the weakest team in the AFCON right but Gail Kakuta वापस आया लोग Gail Kakuta was fantastic they have some decent players it's just that वो
अरे
थोड़ा
ये
हाँ बोल
ककूटा नेमार टाइप असिस्ट कहाँ दे दिया भाई, वो क्या वो मस्त
that back
रेनबो
heel
फ्लिप करके। हाँ
heel
हाँ,
yeah,
मतलब
yeah.
हाँ,
ये सब एफकॉन में ही देखने को मिलता है, रैंडम असिस्ट मतलब निकाल दिया, मतलब सो गुड टू वॉच।
yeah,
Kyle Kakuta matlab literally run it back to like I don't know 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
By the
yeah.
way, just being a devil here, if we had an OCI PIO thing, Simon Muthuswamy could have represented it. Just saying.
100% भाई ओसीआई होता ना तो आई थिंक पूरा स्टार्टिंग 11 ही चेंज होता अपना जो आज का है ना I would have bought Hamza Chaudhary also to India because of course 75 years ago it was a part of India only that particular piece of land but nevertheless I don't want to get political. I don't want to get political but
Yeah.
yeah I think PIO OCI
Let's not
yeah
go there exactly.
PIO OCI में अगर आप करोगे तो definitely there are a lot of names that I think जहाँ से इंडिया
Yeah,
को benefit होगा but yeah boys थोड़े comments है कि we'll just close up the other groups and
yeah.
I
We'll
think
close up
एक
with
ही
the
group
groups and the
बाकी है
prediction.
एक ही group बाकी है and then we'll take predictions
Hmm.
तो यार भाई ये मुझे आप डीएम करो वीर भाई if I can I'll definitely help डीएम करना मेरे इंस्टाग्राम पे ये फिनोम PH4 नॉम 4NA एक वीडियो
Yeah,
है जो मेरे चैनल पे वीडियो है आप जाके देख लो उस पे काफी इन डेप्थ मैंने बनाया बट अगर आप वन वर्ड आंसर देखो इट्स बिकॉज ऑफ फ्रांचेस्को टॉटी भाई this is he's obviously talking about Leeds. I'm very happy that Chintan is on form. He didn't score last night though, but I really feel that एक वीडियो तो बनता है लीड्स के बारे में द वे दैट दे हैव बीन काइंड ऑफ लाइक पिकिंग अप द पॉइंट्स एंड indirectly it's been because of DCL's goal scoring form probably can earn an England call up as well so I think
ये
I shall make a video.
टनाका बहुत सही प्लेयर है, आई रियली लाइक
Oh
टनाका मैन, मतलब
yeah.
यार
व्हाट अ
यार आउट आना का बहुत ही पसंद है मुझे
Yeah,
आई रियली लाइक इट
to watch him
आई
in
विश वी कैन
say
ब्रिंग
catch
हिम
up
टू
player.
इंडिया
I'm glad finally he's doing well. Like before बीच में जो stagnation था, because J League में उसको देख के हमेशा पता था potential है, but बीच में बेचारा stagnate हो गया था before. But
बट या
yeah,
पर अब वी कैन मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट
हाँ हाँ. एक मिनट, just pulling up the group. Yeah, but guys, please do like, share, subscribe. Please do leave your comments here. और भी अगर आपको questions या comments AFCON के बारे में पूछते रहो. We'll wrap up this stream shortly. We've discussed. I think we are only left with E and F. Yeah, E and F. Algeria again. Shivam, routine kind of topping the table. Obviously, Sudan को हराया, Equatorial, Burkina Faso को भी हरा दिया. मतलब Burkina Faso by the time they play, I mean sorry, Burkina Faso was the challenging one. Sudan तो they thrashed obviously. Equatorial Guinea को भी निकाल दिया end में, they were cruising. क्या बोलता है, like looking like the star and the fancy attackers are really shining through in this tournament for Algeria. क्या बोलता है?
Attacker से पहले I want to take couple of minutes to talk about one particular guy. And if you have to make a prime Andy Robertson ना, मतलब जो prime Andy Robertson था, proper engine जो भागता रहता था ऊपर नीचे, he
Yeah,
is Rafi.
yeah,
मतलब I am so like this guy, मतलब मेरे को बहुत पसंद है this player.
yeah,
He
Bengali.
runs completely, मतलब ऊपर नीचे करता रहता है, delivers good balls, he's decent defensively. मतलब जो Robertson left पे करता था, he does it on the right. Watch out for this guy. I think he will get a big move very soon. He is brilliant player.
hopefully hopefully it is Roma because Roma are one of the clubs linked to him and he plays for Abhijay's favorite club obviously
Yeah, that's Verona obviously. So I really like Rafiq. Is AFCON में भी casuals की नजर उस पे पड़ी है. And apart from that, Ibrahim Maza has really stepped up. Amura का by the way AFCON is not really good. मतलब जैसा उनका WCQ गया था, उसके बाद AFCOन में अभी तक उनका वो नहीं गया. But the guys like Maza, the guys like आपका Rafiq Balgali have really stepped up in this tournament. Farish Chaibi as well. Benasser has been decent. मतलब उनका
Yeah,
form
but
पहले अच्छा नहीं हुआ था.
या बेनासर थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटिंग रहा है, थोड़ा मतलब आई थिंक उससे ज्यादा एक्सपेक्टेड भी
Yeah,
था.
he has been decent. Yeah.
या एंड ऑब्वियसली लूका जिडान गोल में अगर आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया, जिनेडिन
Oh
जिडान हैज
yes.
बीन जिनेडिन हैज बीन गोइंग टू वॉच ऑल ऑफ हिज गेम्स. एंड भाई ये तो जैसे तूने बोला वो एक चीज, बट इब्राहिम माजा भाई क्या मतलब टैलेंट. लाइक ऑब्वियसली वी हर्ड ऑफ द पोटेंशियल, बट माय गॉड that kid has been on fire across all three games. Ibrahim Maza and like overall अल्जीरिया का अभी आई थिंक एक मेन क्रेडिट देना चाहिए, मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ शिवम और अजय भाई, बिकॉज इसके बारे में ज्यादा बात की नहीं जा रही. इज द कोच व्लादिमीर पेटकोविच, ऑब्वियसली द
Like
फॉर्मर स्विस कोच.
Lazio.
Lazio.
Lazio. Mm.
अभी जो अजय भाई ऑब्वियसly won't be fascinated with that, but the
There,
thing is
there's something about a Lazio connection with the Hellas Verona thing. मतलब even in Algeria, you look at this man.
वो
It
अल्जीरिया
is,
भी पहुंच गया.
it is मतलब working out so well for them.
Insane. Abhijay may want to say something about that, but what I wanted to say is that Algeria, it's not like they were doing great before this. Like they had their struggles. The national team was flat. They lost their charm in a way, and वो जो Algerian kind of dominance नहीं, but एक top tier performance की बात करते, वो गायब हो गया था full time के लिए. And Vladimir Petkovic है ही वैसा कोच. अजय आई थिंक आपने देखा था स्विट्जरलैंड के साइड भी kind of no nonsense guy,
No
kind of to
nonsense
the
there.
point. Yeah, like he knows what to do. जो मेरे को करना है उसके हिसाब से मैं प्लेयर्स आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, जिसका मेरे को बेस्ट निकालना है, मेरे को पता है कैसे करना है. ही नोज हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई राइट अवे what needs to be changed and he's done it. Like kudos to them because 9 points AFCON में लाना आसान बात नहीं होती है. जैसे शिव ने बोला अमूरा में भी ठीक है फॉर्म नहीं है, बट उसको पीसेस काइंड ऑफ मूव अराउंड करना आता है. लाइक माजा को 20-year-old महारेज, like he's doing fine enough to kind of say कि हाँ महारेज से अभी भी उसको लाइनअप में अगर ऑपोजिशन टीम देखे तो डरना चाहिए, मतलब ऐसे टाइप का हो गया. इट्स नॉट महारेज हैज बिकम टेरेबल, नॉट माय पॉइंट, बट like obviously not the same player anymore. So point is he's used a lot of different pieces and he's kept it going. Maybe the only weakness is the backline because they do concede that odd goal, because he's from, again, what I've been following also, he's not locked down the backline pairing when it comes to the fullback, and the fullbacks are defensively not the greatest basically.
Yeah.
Like Belgali again acha talent hai, but defensively needs to improve a lot. And obviously they go up again round of 16 not touching upon, but yeah, fantastic from them. But moving on very quickly, Algeria se bhi jaye to Shivam, very disappointing. Burkina Faso, very. I personally been very disappointed with these guys. क्या बोलता है?
Yeah, I expected better from them. I'm मतलब मेरा थोड़ा different take है. I मतलब मैं बहुत ज़्यादा disappointing नहीं हूँ, but I expected better performances. They are just grinding out the result. For example, they did not play well against Equatorial Guinea, but they grinded out the result. They grinded out the result against Sudan. Algeria के against मतलब the scoreline is low. They could have conceded more. So I think they haven't been the most impressive sides, but मतलब average मतलब that this is the best way to describe. They have an average AFCON. Herf Coffee and every all those guys. I expected them to perform a little bit better. Tapsoba obviously winner मारा था even after मतलब एकदम ही last में उनका winner है. मतलब this was the game they should have won easily by the way. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea proper vibes team है. मतलब कुछ भी होता है उस टीम में, मतलब कुछ भी चल रहा होता है. कभी मलावी के अगेंस्ट गेम में खेलने आते हैं, कभी कोई प्लेयर रैंडमली बैन हो जाता है, तो मतलब दे शुड हैव वन दिस गेम. But in
Yeah.
fact, they did one actually. Tapsoba ने last minute मारा, but I expected them to do better. Yeah.
Yeah, बतंगड़ बना दिया इस गेम में. अजय, like if you watch this, like again Equatorial Guinea were very disappointing because again below par, but after being down to 10 men, they took the lead. Equatorial Guinea. Then it took like a 95th and a 98th minute winner. I was watching this and I was secretly rooting for Equatorial Guinea to win because अच्छा चल रहा था. बट देन जैसे शिवम ने बोला, ये लोग कुछ भी करते बुर्किना फासो, एंड ऐसा नहीं क्वालिटी नहीं है टीम में. Like there are some decent players. Like obviously Edmund Tapsoba backline में देखोगे, but you have Ouedraogo, you have Ouattara, you obviously have Kabore who's a decent player. Like Bertrand Traore भी ठीक है. I mean for the level that we're looking at, and it's like they're a bad team. And लसीना ट्रेवरे भी obviously उसके एक ACL इंजरी ने उसका थोड़ा काइंड ऑफ करियर ये
Yeah.
कर दी. this is not a bad team. And losing to Algeria, I understand. Again, I did not expect them to beat Algeria. Again, same thing. I did not expect them to. But even against Sudan, Shivam, it was not smooth sail. Like we, तेरे को scoreline बोलेगी 16th minute पे मारा. But as I was watching this game, Sudan's persistence, my God, like again to XG wise भी देखेगा, the more threatening chances came from Sudan. Uh, yeah. So overall, Ajay, bhai, anything you want to say? Because I know they've had their struggles of World Cup qualifying, when they were hard done by with the whole points change ka rule, everything. But anything you want to say? Because I am still a bit disappointed over with them. Thoda, generally speaking.
Uh, yeah, I think with this particular group, they were expected to finish second. So more or less, they would be happy to take the second spot and move on. It's just that, yeah, थोड़ा एक under par performances रहा है, but then again, job is done as far as Burkina Faso is concerned, and if they can do something in the knockouts.
Yeah. Let's wrap up Ivory Coast and Cameroon quickly, guys, so that we can talk about
Yeah,
give our predictions for the
yeah, yeah.
knockouts. Kudos to Mozambique. Firstly, I just want to say unbelievable fighting spirit. Like the way they took it to everyone. Like almost in every game, the defense is not good, but that attack, बिंदास मतलब मजे में बिना कोई टेंशन जैसे खेला ये लोग ने. Kudos to them, and they made it to the playoffs. So that's one thing I pointed out. Again, bestings Gabon. Cameroon, Shivam,
So
quickly तेरे
happy.
से मैं हाँ बोल
Yeah, so
कौन
happy
बोला
for my guy Renildo, man. I'm very happy. मतलब वो knockouts में गया, that is the thing I wanted to see. बस
yeah,
उसको
yeah,
successful है मेरे मैच में. Very
yeah,
good
yeah.
player.
Former athlete obviously. And
Atletico.
Cameroon, Shivam, very quickly, because Cameroon पे जैसे मैं start में बोला कि it was expected these
Hmm.
guys will mess up because of the whole internal rift, Eto playing his games. But again, kudos to the guys, they managed to get 7 points यार. मतलब मेरे को तो expected नहीं था वो लोग इतने easily 7 points निकालेंगे. मुझे लगा था I was expecting Gabon would do something, but obviously, but क्या बोलता है कैमरून के बारे में very briefly?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say which I was saying in the start of the stream. I think they have the best midfield. मतलब मेरे को अगर सबसे ज्यादा balanced midfield जो अभी तक दिखी है ना इस AFCON की, that was Cameroon. Arthur Awom, आपका Carlos Baleba, and I'm forgetting that third guy, man. मतलब if you can just open it, मतलब he is also
Yeah,
very good player. एकदम से
yeah,
मेरे दिमाग से slip हो गया. Yeah, obviously Zambo Anguissa, man. वही मैं कैसे बोलूं. So this is a very compact. This is a very hard-working midfield. We all know about Carlos Baleva, but for his मतलब country के लिए उनका performance बहुत अच्छा नहीं था. अंगीसा के बारे में everyone knows. I think there is no introduction. This guy Arthur Awom, by the way, he is a brilliant talent. He plays for Lorient in Ligue 1. लास्ट सीजन में अगर आप उनकी लॉरियन के कुछ गेम्स देखोगे ना, सो उसके लिए परफॉर्मेंस अच्छी थी. सो ही हैज बीन वेरी गुड. क्रिश्चियन आई थिंक इन तीनों का जो बैलेंस है मिडफील्ड में, दैट इज वेरी गुड. Baleba is basically driving the ball, and Wom used to cover the ground, and Zambo Anguissa, we know he is an all action midfielder.
yeah,
So
yeah.
all three have fared very well. The midfield has done very well. The front line has done very well. And obviously, Fran Mbeumo and the Manchester United fans will be happy कि उनका भी performances अच्छा जा रहा है. Defensively, there are still issues. Let's see how can they rectify that. But yeah, surely one of the surprises होगा. मतलब मैंने तो उनको as one of the best third place teams qualify करा है. So
Yeah,
they have
and
certainly
I don't
surprised me.
I don't blame you for that, because जैसे आ रहे थे टूर्नामेंट में it did not look good, and even against Mozambique they did not have like the smoothest of games. And बालेबा का तो फर्स्ट गेम में माइनर इंजरी हुई थी, तो ऐसा लग भी रहा था कि शायद उसका टूर्नामेंट अफेक्ट हो जाए. Rajab, very quickly, Eta Ayong, you have to keep an eye on. Decent, like he's a pretty decent. Obviously, Shivam will know a lot about him, obviously, but he's actually putting in the work rate in this AFCON. Chamadeu ने against Ivory Coast एक मटका गोल मारा, but then at the end of the day, what is happening, Ajay bhai, is कि things are just falling in place for them despite things not being great off the pitch. Ajay, I want to talk to you about Ivory
This
Coast
is
because हाँ बोल
This
बोल.
is peak Allegri, man. This is peak Allegri. 3-5-1-1. Di Maria
Yeah,
as your support striker. Chiesa
and
wing back. Must
and
formation
and
थी.
and honestly, I have to give credit to their the guy who obviously David Pagu, who took over from the former coach. उसको last minute एकदम था, so guy deserves credit because it's not easy. And constantly
Hmm.
Samuel Eto'o hovering above his head. तू जैसा मैं जैसा बोलूंगा वैसे ही करेगा. Essentially, Cameroon में यही होता है. Pagu doesn't have a lot of freedom basically, and credit to the guy, got them 7 points. But Ajay, quickly, Ivory Coast topped the
Yeah,
group
this
again.
is this
Yeah,
is uh,
बोलो
I,
बोलो.
yeah, I've been very impressed with them. I think really feel that they are kind of they want to defend their crown. And यहाँ पे Ahmad, I really feel कि he really has been impressing. थोड़ा defensive duty कम है इसको United में. He's fully kind of enjoying his attacking freedom. तो बहुत ही बेहतरीन goals मारे उसने. And I just feel that I think Endika तो has been, यार क्या बोलूं यार, he's been really great. काफी सारे casuals है जो अभी Endika को discover करेंगे as if Ivory Coast manage to go on, like and retain the AFCON. A lot of people will know कि भाई why everyone raves about him just as a non-Roma bias also. I think he's a very calm centre back. And yeah, I read reports that United were interested in him, so you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I just feel that Ivory Coast का वही है कि वो जो favorites का tag है उनके ऊपर एक pressure वाला situation पे, if they can crumble, and they do concede some silly goals, पर they are
Yeah.
like prone to make some defensive errors. But so far so good. I think their AFCON campaign, that draw against Cameroon. Apart from that, they've won both their remaining
Mm.
games, so they'll be looking to go and retain the AFCON for sure.
Yeah. And एक चीज
ये
बोल
तो
बोल श्री, बोल.
अब नहीं, जस्ट स्मॉल पर मतलब अजय भाई तो वेंट अ लॉट अहेड ऑफ कर्व. मतलब कैजुअल सभी डिस्कवर करेंगे, कैजुअल इंडिका को तब डिस्कवर करेंगे व्हेन ही पुट्स ऑन दैट ब्रेंटफोर्ड जर्सी एंड परफॉर्म्स अगेंस्ट फुलहम अवे एट क्रेवन कॉटेज. तब डिस्कवर होगा इंडिका. अभी कहाँ होगा.
But एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ. देखो, obviously pre-tournament there was a lot of noise. Nicola Pepe did not get called up, and rightly so, because you saw someone like a Wilfried Zaha जो call up हुआ, जो is not as deserving अगर आप quality wise, form wise देखो. And look, Ivory Coast are spoiled for attacking choices. Look, Diomande है, Ahmad है, obviously Evan Gesand, Sebastian
Yes,
Aller was
and
called up, वो injure हो गया, फिर Evan Gesand आ गया, and Evan Gesand obviously scored in the final
scored,
game
yeah.
as well. Yeah, exactly. And so they have a good attack. Nicola Pepe maybe still deserved a call up, but yeah, that is their strength. Essentially, actually, funnily enough, Ajay, I was saying this: Ivory Coast are not known to concede a lot, and when I saw them concede 2 to Gabon, I was quite surprised. So that was the only
Very
thing.
surprising. Yeah.
Yeah,
And those were like like मतलब ऐसा भी नहीं कि कोई they kind of made those errors. And generally I don't see Ivory Coast being so error prone, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But again, वो भी जैसा
probably
आपने
that's
बोला,
a
थोड़ा
chink in the
rotated था.
armor. हाँ,
Exactly, जो
nevertheless.
थोड़ा रोटेट था. नो कुसुनु, नो एंडिका, सेको फोफाना
Yeah, yeah.
बेंच. एंड लुक, एक तो baffling चीज है, how is this, like I've forgotten about this guy, how is this guy still
From Michael Carrick.
getting, how is this guy still getting called up for the national team? This guy was linked with us in the banter era. Bhai, it's insane how John Michael Sherry is still
Plays in
playing
the
for the
Saudi
Ivory
Pro League.
Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And
थोड़ा
but
सा
kudos
ना,
to that. हाँ, बोल
थोड़ा
बोल बोल बोल.
मिडफील्ड ना इनको देखना पड़ेगा. आई थिंक सेको फोफाना,
Yeah,
फ्रैंक कैसी के भी लेग्स जा रहे हैं. सेरी
yes,
मतलब
yes.
मिडफील्ड में दे नीड सम कंट्रोल. मतलब वर्ल्ड कप में दिक्कत हो जाएगी अगेंस्ट जर्मनी या इक्वाडोर अगर मिडफील्ड में कंट्रोल इन्होंने नहीं किया. दे आर वेरी गुड. द बिगेस्ट पॉजिटिव फॉर देम इज डेफिनेटली द अटैक, जो WCQ में बिल्कुल भी डिसजॉइंटेड था. कोई भी रैंडम खेल रहा था. डियोमांडे स्टेप्ड अप वेल. अमाड डियालो इज डूइंग वेरी वेल. डिफेंसिवली आई थिंक दे आर स्टिल फाइन. ने बहुत अच्छे से बोला, बट मिडफील्ड दे हैव टू फिगर इट आउट. या
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I agree. Just one last thing as we go to our predictions. I agree. शिवम ने बहुत मेजर पॉइंट बोलने ही वाला था. They are losing legs. Like Frank कैसी है, my footmob ratings एक चीज बोल रहे, but अरे भाई, he is kind of थोड़ा looking slow, not up to the par. But kudos to Emerse Faye. मतलब वो last AFCON में midway आया था and he won them the tournament, and I didn't feel like वो ये इतना अच्छा start दे पाएगा. But kudos to the guy. But guys, let's move to the knockouts. Let's go to our predictions. I hope I've changed the screen. I hope this is visible.
Yes.
First up, guys, we have Senegal versus Sudan on Saturday, 3rd of Jan. Let's start with you, Ajay bhai. क्या बोलते हो? Because Senegal, Sudan, just very quickly, beautiful story. Like, what they go through. Obviously, खुद के स्टेडियम में भी नहीं खेल पाते. क्वालिफायर्स में भी ढंग का जॉब किया, ठीक किया. And AFCON में भी they managed to obviously put up a decent fight. क्या बोलते हो? Like, they've really done an okay job despite not scoring by themselves. Qualified, यार, क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah, I think they were the third place teams, one of the last third place teams to get onto the the knockouts. What a story, यार. परम मतलब मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ ये Sudan team can beat a few good national teams without naming. You understand who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same, man. मतलब how can we both
मतलब
think this?
ग्रेट माइंड थिंकर है शिवम, बिकॉज उनका देख, उनका फेडरेशन भी नहीं है, कुछ सपोर्ट भी नहीं है, देयर इज अ वॉर साउथ सुडान के साथ में, आई मीन बहुत इतने इश्यूज है, बट उन लोग फिर भी दे स्टिल मैनेज टू काइंड ऑफ लाइक qualify for the AFCON and then of course knockouts, but I think Senegal from here, yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Senegal has to win because I'll come to you,
I'll go
Shivam. Just
3-0.
मैं
Yeah,
आता हूँ
okay. ठीक है ठीक है.
yeah, I'll come to you. I just wanted to say कि because I'm not going to take too long because as much as I respect what Sudan have done, as I said, war torn country, कुछ है ही नहीं, खुद से गोल भी नहीं मारा. वो एक मैच जो इक्वेटोरियल गिनी को हराया, that was a Saul Coco. Unfortunately, me and Shivam love Saul Coco, but unfortunately वो उन गोल उसने मारा था. And it was a controversial win. I mean, penalty नहीं दी थी इक्वेटोरियल गिनी को ये वो. But whatever, you could see the joy on their fans and what it meant to that country as a whole. And unfortunately, but I think their journey, as Ajay said, ends here because Senegal are just too good. It's as simple as that. Kalidou Koulibaly is suspended for this game, but I don't think it should affect them too much. You can take over.
Yeah, I'll keep it very brief. I think 3-0 will be the result, and they already have been success. मतलब this is a successful AFCON for them. And अगर वो let's say 45 minutes we can hold on करते हैं ना, मतलब अगर if they go half time mainly, मतलब they have overachieved in this AFCON against this very
Yeah.
good Senegalese side. So I think very good story. Ajay Bhai has described it perfectly well. Nothing to add, but I think 3-0 Senegal is my prediction for this.
Fair. Next, Mali versus Tunisia. Obviously, इधर मेरा थोड़ा vested
अरे
interest है.
बाप रे.
But I
ये
ये ना
मैच
अजय भाई ये फिक्सचर में
रियल
1000
मैड्रिड सिटी है ये. हाँ, रियल
हाँ
मैड्रिड सिटी है ये.
ये फिक्सचर इतने बार हो चुका है ओवर द लास्ट इयर्स दैट लाइक दिस इज द फेमस इनफेमस गेम वेयर ऑब्वियसली अगर आपने मीम देखी है वो अफ्रीकन रेफरी ने 5 मिनट पहले फुल टाइम वाला विसल बजा दिया जब इफ यू नो दैट मीम 87th मिनट पे फुल टाइम विसल बजा दिया एंड ही स्क्रूड ट्यूनीजिया ओवर but look I'll say simple Mali and Tunisia both have been hit and miss both have मैंने दोनों के इश्यूज बोले ट्यूनीजिया का सिंपल है they've lost their defensive identity their attack is they've had they have flair now in their attack but it's not like it's high quality flair and it's still clicking defense has become loose they've lost that reference point of Wabi Khazri and Mali as I think Shivam also broke down Mali have not been great themselves but Mali I think have this thing that they can hold out they can defend and they can hold out which they did against Morocco and that is where I feel unfortunately I think this will go to penalties or extra but that's how
I was just going to say that this has got extra time and written all over
this is going to be a very ugly watch like you have to if you're watching this आपको ये prepare करना होगा let me just read out the last head to heads okay of this game 2024 Tunisia Mali 1-1 2022 Tunisia Mali 0-0 2022 Mali 0 Tunisia 1 2022 Mali 1 Tunisia 0 2021 Tunisia 1 Mali 0 2019 1-1 so you get this right you get this where this is going I think but unfortunately Mali will win this in extra time or penalties आप लोग क्या बोलते हो
ये तो तूने प्रॉपर अंडरडॉग वाला स्टोरी पिच किया ना तूने
कुछ अंडरडॉग
given your vested interest towards Tunisia but yeah even I feel that ये game will be decided in extra time probably a 0-0 and I could see Mali emerging as victors.
Fair Shivam what do you say
This is like South African reference watching Ecuador versus Peru at 3 a.m. in winter morning, all to end up in a 0-0 draw. And I think यही होगा extra time में जाएगा, but I'll go 1-0 Tunisia. When I think Tunisia has a better quality. मतलब माली से मुझे बहुत मतलब कुछ. If Mamadou Sangare does something, then Mali can win. Otherwise, I'll go Tunisia win. 1-0 Tunisia win.
Wow, I hope your prediction is correct, Shivam, because यही मैं चाहता हूँ. But next, guys, ये तो मतलब again ये almost Senegal Sudan जैसी वही one-sided story हो गई because another beautiful kind of story over here with Tanzania making it and they have like a proper system in place tactically speaking like they do. अगर आप उनके matches देखोगे ना अजय भाई they really it felt like they kind of deserved to qualify but obviously they were lacking the quality like they were fighting for everything they were literally fighting for everything but मुझे लग रहा है यार like this is too much again Morocco just I know home side का pressure है they have had they've not looked the cleanest across all games but I still think the quality has to prevail here आप लोग comments में भी बोलो यार like I want to see what you guys think in the comments I want you guys to give your predictions for these games क्या बोलते हो अजय
yeah Morocco यार Morocco
क्या
I'll go simple I think I'll go simple. I think first half में 2-0 करेंगे, second half में they'll conserve energy. 2-0 Morocco. Classic Moroccan win.
Fair. Next up, guys, a juicy fixture. we have South Africa versus Cameroon, and we spoke. शिवम ने बोला कैमरून की मिडफील्ड इज स्ट्रांग, साउथ अफ्रीका का वो वीकनेस है, एंड वी डिस्कस्ड एवरीथिंग. Simply coming to the predictions, what do you think, Shivam, will happen here? I think, did we lose Shivam? Ajay bhai?
इस पे शिवम आने के पहले मैं बोल दूंगा दिस इज द अपसेट दैट आई एम प्रेडिक्टिंग. आई थिंक अपसेट एटलीस्ट ऑन पेपर इन टर्म्स ऑफ the history between of both the teams. I feel South Africa will upset Cameroon and go to the next round.
Interesting. Phantom में तेरे predictions लेता. Sorry, Shivam is back. Shivam, yeah. South Africa,
Yeah,
Cameroon.
Matlab, I also want to predict an upset because I have predicted South Africa as the underdogs, but I am personally very impressed with अगर ये Awom, Zambo Anguissa and Baleba के midfield खेले ना, then I'll 100% back Cameroon. मतलब they have shown enough evidence to me कि they can beat South Africa, considering South Africa has a weakness in midfield this tournament.
Exactly.
But just because I want an underdog story, I like South Africa. I want to see Mexico, South Africa, very feisty game in World Cup. I'll go 2-1 South Africa. But if that three-man midfield khelegi, then I'll be going Cameroon. Just for the sake of prediction, I'll go 2-1 South Africa.
Fair. So this is funny. I was just checking the head-to-head record. Cameroon have never beaten South Africa. This is hilarious. So in all their meetings, 3 draws and 1 win, and that win has come for South Africa 3-2 all the way back in 2019, if I'm not wrong. Correct, 2019. So or something like that. I think this is a tweet or text I'm reading, so I need to check the. But मैंने सुबह को भी पढ़ा था कि South Africa have never lost to Cameroon or something, at least in the recent times. So I need to double check. But ये तो है. But I kind of lean on this tactically, अजय भाई, कि मेरे को साउथ अफ्रीका, जैसे शिवम ने बोला, उनके मिडफील्ड और सेंटर बैक पेयरिंग से बहुत डाउट्स आ रही है. व्हाइल देयर आर क्वालिटी प्लेयर्स, मोक्वेना, एम्बोकाजी, ये वो, but really Cameroon, I think, might be able to manage this because Mbeumo is that kind of player that can drift past these, weaknesses, kind of make them pay. So I don't know. I think this will be close, but मेरे को लगा Cameroon ले लेगा, and Eto'o will find one more thing to gloat over कि I was right as always. Egypt versus Benin, guys. Again, Egypt के बारे में भी हमने बात की है. Egypt is struggling as, मतलब not struggling but flaws के साथ आती. But Benin, यार, Shivam, Benin have not really again won without qualified without winning a game. क्या बोलता है?
Yeah, I to think Benin are a very average side. मतलब they are मतलब कर गए qualify, but I think Egypt will. मतलब they couldn't take them. मतलब हल्के में तो नहीं लेना चाहिए, but I think Egypt will be fine. 2-0, Mohamed Salah penalty as always, and Omar Marmoush, Rabona go. चलो, some exciting prediction.
I think हाँ बोलो
Egypt है यार इसमें. I think without a shadow of doubt.
Same because I think their firepower is too much. Benin, again, system in place hai, but they're like the weaker version of Mali, I would say. Basically they have a system in place, but they're just not as good. You saw they conceded to a 10-man Senegal as well. So yeah, Nigeria, Mozambique, guys, ये थोड़ा मुझे लग रहा है पर इसमें कि शायद नाइजीरिया कंसीड कर सकती है. लाइक the way Mozambique play na Ajay, like without any care in the world, they lose. I definitely think they lose, and AFCON is a tournament where usually the favorites win. बट मुझे लग रहा है मोजाम्बिक कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग मोमेंट तो देगी. आई डोंट नो विल बी नेक एंड नेक, बट एक इंटरेस्टिंग मोमेंट देगी मोजाम्बिक. क्या बोलते हो आप लोग?
मुझे तो लग रहा है कि ये वाला जो पर्टिकुलर गेम है ना, दिस विल गो, मतलब इंडिविजुअल क्वालिटी पे नाइजीरिया निकाल देगी. मतलब दिस इज एंड टू एंड गेम, मतलब ये प्रॉपर एंड टू एंड गेम होगा. बट आई थिंक ये कुछ 4-2 टाइप्स वाइज मुझे ऐसा फीलिंग आ रही है. मतलब ये कुछ बहुत ही मतलब क्रेजी चीज होगी. 3 लीड हो रही होगी, 3-2 हो जाएगा, बट देन उसी में आगे मार देगा. सो आई थिंक इंडिविजुअल क्वालिटी पे आई विल गो नाइजीरिया निकाल लेगा ये गेम.
फेयर.
हाँ यार, I think ये you need to tune into this fixture just for the total chaos. I think you could see different patterns over here. जो tacticos है ना, मर जाएंगे सब देखेंगे. कोई system नहीं है, सिर्फ chaos है. And Nigeria typically, the attack generally thrives on this. So I think Nigeria wins this.
Fair. I agree with you. We discussed that. Comments में अगर आप ला सकते हो. I think Phantom says Algeria, Morocco, Senegal, Ivory Coast in semi-finals. Interesting. Algeria, Congo, guys, another juicy fixture.
I think this is the juiciest amongst the lot.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. Either honestly, Shivam, जैसे अपन ने बात किया, थोड़े दोनों defenses थोड़े wonky है. They're kind of figuring themselves out. But you have Petkovic, who has the tactic, who has the know-how of getting it done on like in that significant moment. But you have a Congo who has suffered the worst things they can in terms of coming close, and they're learning and they're building on it. They're not perfect but they're building. हमने बात कर ली, क्या बोलते हो प्रेडिक्शंस? बिकॉज ये ऑनेस्टली ये भी मुझे एक्स्ट्रा टाइम पे दिख रहा है, ऐसा कोई लेट विनर मारेगा एक्स्ट्रा टाइम में, ऐसा टाइप लग रहा है.
I think this is पहली बात तो both teams are unlucky to face each other. मतलब
Yeah,
unlucky
yeah,
क्या,
exactly.
DR Congo finished second in their group, so ठीक है, you
Yeah,
decide your own fate. But we are getting this matchup very early. It's like
very
Lakers
early.
versus Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. जो लोग NBA देखते हैं, but I mean this is proper DR Congo's defense versus Algeria's attack. मतलब
Yeah,
क्या ही
yeah.
मैं बोलूं, मतलब I think this is a game जिस पे I can see if Algeria do not maintain their shape now, so someone like a Noah Sadiki can run with the ball and he can and they can hurt them on counters because
Mm,
एक चीज है क्योंकि रफीक भी आगे काफी जाएगा एंड उनका जो आइट नूरी इज डिफेंसिवली एनीवेज वीक, सो दोनों
mm,
फुल बैक्स इनके ना बम्बार्ड फॉरवर्ड करते हैं, सो आई थिंक डीआर कॉन्गो विल ट्राई देयर बेस्ट टू अब्सॉर्ब द प्रेशर. एम्बेम्बा का इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत होगा, मतलब इस गेम में एम्बेम्बा एंड वैन बिसाका नीड्स टू मतलब परफॉर्म जैसे अभी तक वो लोग करते आए हैं. एंड आई कैन सी अ वन एक काउंटर पे मुझे इस गोल दिख रहा है इस गेम में डीआर कॉन्गो का, बट आई थिंक इवेंचुअली द अटैक विल प्रिवेल and I hope so. Rafiq gets an assist or a goal, something. I'll go two. Oh man, I feel so bad to eliminate our Tamil boy, Mr. Sami, but I think I'll go 2-1 Algeria in extra time.
mm. Fair, fair, 2-1. This honestly शिवम, इसमें कोई भी प्रेडिक्शन गलत भी नहीं, मतलब प्रेडिक्शन प्रेडिक्शन होती है, बट यू गेट माय पॉइंट. इसमें तो कुछ भी प्रेडिक्ट करे ना, it's so hard, like because I'm also like I really want DR Congo to win. I really want, because I really want people to take them seriously because they should be. बट मुझे लग रहा है अल्जीरिया निकालेगा एक्स्ट्रा टाइम में, सेम 2-1, 2-1. क्या बोलता हूँ मैं?
वो पेट्रोविच फैक्टर तूने जो बोला, आई थिंक that's quite evident,
या,
and hates me to say it, but he has won some trophies. So,
या.
uh, so I just feel that it'll be a good game. Like I really want to watch a good game
Yeah,
of football.
this is the
And
game. This is the game you tune in and watch, Ajay bhai. You
yes,
don't miss this
yes,
game. Yeah.
exactly. It's a great fixture. I mean, this could have been a semi-final also, with all due respect to other teams. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
I just feel like, yeah, Algeria just edging it slightly.
And obviously support wise, ये AFCON में एक theme रहेगी, नॉर्थ अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज के
Yeah.
फैंस एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. So
Because it is a North Africa, it is close,
yep,
and Arab countries,
yep,
so
absolutely, absolutely.
you
Nothing
have
against
that.
it. Just to highlight that
Yeah,
Algeria will have that extra support if
yeah.
needed. And look to kudos to DR Congo. They've also had great support. So I'm looking forward to this. Lastly, guys, Ivory Coast versus Burkina Faso. I think again this is an interesting game, but I think there maybe we can identify a favorite here. At least to me, I think Ivory Coast have to win this because
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much as I like Burkina Faso, as much as I like what they're trying, they're making an effort. वो कम पड़ रहा है, like whatever they've been very unlucky over the last years in many aspects, injuries, चाहे कुछ off behind the scenes हुआ हो, चाहे qualification के में बहुत unlucky देश है, but unfortunately quality भी थोड़ा मेरे लिए कम पड़ रहा है and Ivory Coast wins it for me. क्या बोलते हो आप लोग?
Yeah, Ivory Coast.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah.
नहीं
I
बोलो.
want to play devil's advocate here. Why, but this is just gut feeling. There's no logic behind it. But why do I have a feeling that this is a game जहाँ पे upset होगा? That curse of AFCON वाला जो चल
Wow.
रहा है, मतलब Heavy Coast is doing really well. So it मतलब बहुत ही मतलब weird होगा उनका game जाना. But I think this is the game where the second best keeper of Liga after Ruli this season, Harv Coffey actually steps up. I think he makes like 10, 11 saves and Dango और तारा कुछ outer मारे. मतलब this is just a wishful thinking. So I'll be playing a devil's advocate. I'll go 1-0 Burkina Faso and champions to get knocked out.
Not
Wow.
bad, not
Wow.
bad. That's a bold
It
call,
is.
bhai.
Wow, that is very bold, guys. That is a very bold prediction. And if this comes true, शिवम को डेफिनेटली एक स्पेशल शाउट आउट या कुछ ना कुछ तो अभिजय गिफ्ट दे देगा. अभिजय, if he's still watching, definitely that it's on you to gift Shivam something if he gets this right, because me and Ajay bhai are sticking to Ivory Coast, and as I said, traditionally AFCON is a tournament जहाँ अगर आप हिस्ट्री देखो upsets थोड़े कम होते हैं, but that's just the nature of it. Any closing things you want to take, Ajay bhai? Comments before we close this.
I
Comments
think
है, I
it's
think अगर आपको
beautiful that AFCON is available to stream on FanCode. I think it's quite a great watch. Abhi bhi, I think, some of, like I mentioned, some bangers. Shiva mentioned about the rainbow flick and the assist given by Kakuta. Amad Diallo के long range bangers रहे. It's been all out action, and I think it's such a great watch, Param. Um, it's a shame that it's held in January and not like in the traditional summer break. But
So,
nevertheless,
so
it's been enjoyable. It's been enjoyable.
या आई एग्री सो ऑब्वियसली एक बड़ी चीज की अगले AFCON एडिशन से वो 4 ईयर साइकिल में चले गए हैं and many Africans including the players are actually upset about it because they
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
play
yeah. I
more.
read about that.
Like
Yeah.
Lukman का interview था and I saw it. He's like, sorry boss, doesn't fit with me. I don't want to bow down to the European culture is what many Africans are saying. मेरे को यूरोप के लिए bow
Yeah.
down करना ही नहीं, क्यों?
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah.
fair.
नहीं
I
नहीं,
mean,
दो साल तो करना ही है बिकॉज उनको इतना अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है जीतने के लिए
yeah.
ट्रॉफीज एंड
Yeah,
होता
but,
रहे
and
बट
it's a different dynamic in Europe. When we, as European football fans, we look at it as injuries and whatnot, which is not a wrong point. But for them, money, for them, more chance for spotlight. For them, that major tournament coming every 2 years is big.
या
It's a big deal for them. And again, AFCON has always been like this, so they're against this. So yeah, but yeah, just comments अगर हम ले ले लास्ट एक दो है बस. uh, uh, Watara, I think Phantom is a big fan of Dango Watara. I think obviously a good player as there. Uh, I think there is one comment for you. I love Ajay Bhai when he talks about as he's not as loud as the others. Fair enough. Muthu Swami definitely Ajay Bhai ne bola he has that Indian origin as well. Yeah, I think there's not many other comments. Otherwise, I just wanted to see if anything was left out.
दिस इज शिवम्स बेस्ट यूजर नेम रोबोफ उसको दे तो
हाँ,
यार
ये हर बार लॉगिन मतलब आपका गया स्टूडेंट मतलब ये लिख के ले लो.
नहीं यार अगर आई जस्ट फील कि एफकॉन का जो जो एक यूनिक फ्लेयर है आई एम हैप्पी दैट इट्स स्टिल देयर एंड like the saying is ना it's still not corrupted by that woke nonsense wala there is still chaos there's still that rawness about football that we all kind of like got into football because of that magic that raw element to it that chaos to it and then of course football has evolved quite a lot from those days but AFCON is probably that one international tournament जहाँ पे आपको अभी भी देखने मिलता है and the stories are fantastic. I mean क्या क्या stories है एक एक टीम्स का players के fans के जो हमने देखा DR Congo का जो fan है amazing यार what a tournament full of color.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shivam, anything you want to say as we close this? कुछ बोलना है तुझे?
No, I think I just want to say कि thank you for having me and मतलब काफी ज्यादा glitches हुए but yeah you have perfectly described AFCON. I think one of the most likable tournaments, one of the tournament which has the most aura and I think randomness, the randomness and the cultural element जो होता है ना AFCON में you see different cultures mingling together, you see random countries actually hate watching on different countries and all those vibe and festivities which
Oh,
go.
I Shivam, before you continue, the hate watching is what I love. Like जो इन्वेस्टेड रहते हैं ना वो लोग भाई एक मतलब युगांडा को ट्रोल कर रहे लोग भाई क्योंकि वो एक मीम था ना AFCON में कि युगांडा वाज द फर्स्ट नेशन टू लैंड इन अफ्रीका. They're also the first one to go back home and before the tournament began that's actually considered a bad omen because जो भी पहले आता है usually most cases में पहले eliminate among the first few countries में eliminate हो जाता है and usually most of the smaller teams arrive पहले और वो बेचारे युगांडा because they were okay they were not even that terrible. बुरा लगा मेरे को देखकर लोग युगांडा का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं. सोच मैं देख रहा हूँ भाई you troll Nigeria you troll the big countries.
Still better than Ghana.
अरे रमजाना का तो and also the regional rivalries are very मतलब like North African teams का there is this thing कि we are the luxurious sides we want to rule Africa compared to West Africa कि we have grown up actually with all those sufferings and all those things. So the very socio-economic side of this AFCON is very and East Africa is still growing so that's a very different perspective आपको मिलता है. So really good tournament and I would say कि अगर अभी तक जिन्होंने नहीं देखा they should watch it at least from the knockout stage because proper like आपको वेस्टर्न कॉन्फ्रेंस टाइप ब्रैकेट्स मिले हैं. एक रैंडम डेट्रॉइट पिस्टन्स मतलब क्रिस्टल पैलेस टाइप कोई टीम अगर किसी बड़ी टीम को एलिमिनेट करती है लेकर्स टाइप को so don't be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys summed it up very perfectly. Yes, Phantom वो Corinthians का है वो Gabri Martinelli है वो उसके DP में. So that is to answer your question. But thank you guys for joining Ajay Bhai's channel. Thank you Ajay Bhai for having us on. Please do like share to
first live stream of 2026 परम तू मैं और शिवम एक और लाइव स्ट्रीम करेंगे 30 दिसंबर को ये साल में 2026 में. एक साल में बहुत कुछ होने वाला है इतना तो गारंटी है.
बहुत कुछ I'm sure we'll be doing more AFCON streams as the tournament progresses.
AFCON football streams
Indian football दुख दर्द पीड़ा
या कुछ दुख दर्द पीड़ा नहीं है
अभी
इंडियन
तो
फुटबॉल में यार।
वर्ल्ड कप आने वाला है, दिस इज वर्ल्ड कप ईयर, सो आई एम वेरी
दिस
एक्साइटेड
इज
फॉर
अ
दिस
वर्ल्ड
ईयर
कप
एज
ईयर।
वेल.
Yeah, World Cup year. Hopefully more streams to fandom will. Hope Martinelli does not win any trophy this year. Of course, you being a Spurs fan. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you Ajay bhai,
बट
for having
गाइस
us on.
9:30 बजे को कैल्चो चर्चा पे हम लाइव जाएंगे टू टॉक अबाउट यू नो द अपकमिंग वीकेंड ऑफ कैल्चो। सो उसके लिए आप आ जाना, थोड़ा ब्रेक लेना, खाना वाना खा लेना, मम्मी डैडी को हाय बोलना और 9:30 बजे को ज्वाइन करना। आई थिंक वी कैन रैप इट अप। शिवम परम, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग।
Thank
थैंक्स
you.
टू एवरीवन हु ट्यून्ड इन। दोबारा लौटेंगे, कंटेंट आता रहेगा। लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब कैल्चो चर्चा को, मेरे चैनल को, इन लोग दोनों को फॉलो करो ट्विटर पे, परम एंड शिवम को। आपको पूरा भंडार मिल जाएगा, प्लेयर डेटा, स्टोरीज, स्काउटिंग, दे हैव द एक्सेस टू द नेक्स्ट बिग थिंग्स इन फुटबॉल। बट या दैट्स इट फॉर नाउ। खुश रहो, आ जाओ, 9:30 को वापस मिलते हैं।
Sorry, one comment. Perv Rock says late हो गया. Late नहीं हुआ, वापस जाके भी देख सकते हो. प्लीज कैल्शियो
देख लो
चर्चा पे
भाई।
आ जाना. प्लीज डू 9:30 को कैल्शियो चर्चा पे आ जाना, अगर आपने देखा नहीं है उधर आ जाना. So thank you fandom, thank you everyone, thank you Shivam, thank you
Ciao,
Ajay
ciao.
bhai. See you.